Cool, cool, cool. So with that, let us start. So we had a very interesting episode of Raw tonight. We had, of course, a reminder of what happened on Thursday, because one thing is for sure, they definitely reminded us that we was going to basically talk about that event basically forever. And it's like every time I see clips of it, I get that shocking feeling back. And apparently, I don't know if everyone has seen it. I know, fellas, you saw it on the table at the table. You saw the new Mania trailer. I want to jump straight into this trailer. Have you guys seen this trailer? Whether it was before tonight or during tonight, because they showed it twice, I think, tonight. Des, I'm gonna start with you and then Jay to follow. What were your thoughts on this? Obviously, made after the Thursday kickoff show trailer for WrestleMania 40. Des?
Yeah, last night, Jay and I, Jay brought it to my attention that Triple H had tweeted out saying that there was something epic that was going to happen in the 6 o'clock hour, like right before the Super Bowl aired, and to tune into the YouTube channel for WWE. And we watched it live as they premiered that, I don't even want a commercial or whatever you want to call it, but I liked it. And I said earlier tonight that I want them to, go back to what they used to do back in the day for like, how they did the first time WWE WrestleMania went to Hollywood and they had all those cool commercials and stuff like that. I think that they should do that exact same thing for every single WrestleMania match moving forward, because that's like, it's a movie type quality, very different from what WWE has done in the past. And I'm liking all of these changes, everything graphics wise and camera wise. I'm loving every bit of it. So yes, I seen it, I loved it, and like I said, I want it to be done with every match moving forward. Jay, what about you, my guy?
Bro, that shit was fire the way they did that. Right after the press conference, something like this got made. It felt like, how can I put it? It felt like this is like a movie coming soon, and you can't wait to miss it. Is a must, is a can't miss type movie. I'd say. And like you said, the graphics were 4K and better. I'd say on that. It was crazy. Everything popped out. Everything that was said just by them looking at each other, it gives you a visualization of what to expect coming ahead. And yeah, for sure, I'd love to see this going forward with every pay per view. Actually, if they're gonna do it, I love it for after Mania. I'd love them to do it for every main event leading up to the pay per view, so they can at least let us know who are like maybe the top two main events, and they give us teaser trailers every time prior to each PLE that comes on. Shane?
You know, I kind of understand why they did that, because that moment Cole mentioned, it was like one of the most viewed moments and the most talked about, you know, around on the internet. So of course they're gonna grab onto that attention and blast this. Jay, if you can mute your mic because I can hear myself. Thank you, Jay. So it seemed to me like the quality of the video, which is like, it looked like a blockbuster movie, like you said, and it looks like something that was totally different from what we've seen from the WWE editing team. It almost looked as if it was from an outside source that did it, or maybe they have like a new editing team, because they're definitely stepping up their game also with the with this trailer, and the little graphics that they put in throughout the show today. And I remember Des pointed it out in the chat how he was really digging the graphics, and so am I. It's the graphics that, how they introduce the next bout. So it's like, like Cody or Drew, like when one of them would come out, and before we go to commercial, they have like this cool little graphic thing that pops up, and then it goes into commercial. So Jay, I'm gonna start with you and Des to follow. Like, do you really like this? Like, where is this coming from? Like, this just came like out of nowhere, and it's kind of cool because it just adds like a layer of, all in all, a good show, don't you think?
Honestly, this is something that I didn't expect coming from them. I really like how they put the situation as far as with that. I was reading something not too long ago where it said the guy who was in charge of like the audio visual stuff that was there during the Vince era and everything, he has stepped down, and Triple H basically elevated someone else to that, and whoever that person is doing one hell of a job. He got one hell of a vision, and I like everything. I like these little like comic book strip things for them, introducing them before the match starts. That way, before when it goes on commercial, it's great. I'm enjoying it. Des?
Yeah, like Jay said, this was mentioned a few weeks ago that one of Vince's guys who's been with WWE for the last 30 or some odd years, I think they said since the first episode of Monday Night Raw, he's been in charge, and he, basically retired or whatever. And TKO actually uh, moved someone in that, that they were using to head that department now. And it's just the subtle, small changes that makes a big difference. It's been like different camera angles, different views from the camera on matches in the crowd, the graphics around the arena, around the ringside area. Shane, like what you said, I believe it was last week with the backstage announcers. They don't just stand there and look stupid like a video game anymore. They send it back to the arena side, and those little things add up, and they're making a better show. And it's so small, but it's so big, and I'm loving every bit of it. Shane.
So that explains everything. You have new hands and new eyes, new visions and new ideas, and we're seeing it unfold right now. And I love it. I love it. Thank you, fellas, for explaining that because I didn't know that. But speaking of knowing, let's start recapping. We're going to start with the first match, which was a 6-man tag team match. We was reminded of last week when it all came together. So we're talking about the New Day Heat, New Day with Jay Uso versus Imperium. Des, I'm going to start with you and then Jay to follow. What are you guys' thoughts on this match, this opening match tonight?
Well, yeah, this was a match that we thought would happen eventually, but we didn't think that Jay would be the third man with the New Day. We thought it was going to be the New Day with Big E taking on Imperium. So that was the mindset that we had going into like the Royal Rumble and stuff like that. But obviously Big E's still not cleared to compete. So inserting Jay Uso while he has this, this dream to face Gunther for the IC title, to me was perfect. And the reaction, I mean, Jay is still completely over with the crowd. I mean, man, that reaction with him coming to the ring with the crowd waving their hands, and again, Pat McAfee, my guy, on the desk doing the same thing. That was all awesome. And then Xavier took a sign from the crowd that said "New Day Yeet, New Day Yeet." Awesome again. The match. I do say this: WWE, they had too many commercials during that match. So on TV, you never got to see like the match gain ground. Every time something would happen, they go on commercial. So it took away from the TV audience. And I think the audience in the arena actually got a better viewing of the match because they've seen it in its totality. So I like the match. I think that they shouldn't have went on so many commercial breaks during the match. While because the TV audience, we didn't see everything. But beyond that, I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Jay.
What I'm gonna say, is basically, Des, you're right. I never really got the full into it with the match. I liked it and all, but it was just like, once there was a little momentum going one way, the commercial hit. Then, it was like, bro, you started a commercial 10 minutes into the show. Normally, Raw goes into a commercial maybe at least between 8:15 and 8:17, no more, no later. But if, like, I couldn't get into it the way I wanted to. And everything that I seen, I liked everything from Jay that he was bringing into the ring. Everything he delivered was on point. Love how the crowd just stays 100% with him. We can see who's the better brother amongst the two. When it comes to Mr. Yeet Master himself, my guy. And overall, with Gunther in the ring, they look good to fight each other one on one because Gunther was doing his thing against them. But we see who prevailed. Yeet.
So let me ask this then. Jay first and then Des to follow. What are your thoughts on Jay in terms of the chemistry and the mesh with New Day? Did they read together well? or did he look like a guest appearance of the New Day? Like, did it look as if all three together was the New Day, just like all three of Imperium is Imperium? Jay?
I would say Jay played a pretty good leader role for them not having Big E there. I like how Jay had that upper hand, and when the other guys had to take their hand, they took it. But Jay Jay did what it did. I mean, what he had to do eventually, and we still miss Big E. We still want the New Day. Ain't nothing like the New Day without Big E. So good job by being a fill in, and leading the way Big E would.
Well, in my opinion, they faced each other so many times as a tag team over the years that they know each other's move sets very well. And I actually think that they did a good job, you know, meshing the Usos and the New Day together. And it was flawless. Like I said, if we would have been able to get a good stretch, 10 minutes straight or so of this match, we would have been able to actually feel it more. That whole, the tag, the stomp in the corner and then the tag, and nothing, continuation of the stomp in the corner and then another tag, that reminded me, I believe that was something that the Usos used to do. If not them, the New Day would do. So I think that they actually did a good job with that. It didn't feel like it was forced. I agree with Jay. Jay Uso did what he was supposed to do, but it felt like it was a good blend, and it wasn't a forced blend. And like I said, because of the fact that they've gone against each other so many times, they know what the other is going to do. So I'm not mad at it at all, Shane, on that.
Interesting, because it's interesting how New Day went up against them as arch enemies, and now you have this guy as like almost like a friend, because even the way they communicate with each other, it's like they've been friends for like years. It's like it's it's so interesting to see them, all interact
Jay,
backstage, which we will talk about again in a minute. Des?
yeah, I would just say that it's sort of like it's a mutual respect. They've always had that. Even when they were going against each other, they always respected the fact that they are their biggest challenge. The New Day is the biggest challenge to the Usos, and the Usos are the biggest challenge to the New Day. Like they have that respect, and it shows. It shows on TV.
Speaking of respect, look who left a message or two. It's our homie Lawan. What's good, baby? Lawan says,
Of course, Jay looks good with New Day. They got history with each other. They've done so many matches, so many tag team matches and tag team shots against each other. Remember that rap battle? That was one of the funniest moments ever. But they got chemistry with each other, so of course it's going to work because they got chemistry with each other against each other. So hell yeah.
yeah, that rap battle where, was it T-Pain or somebody that was on the stage with them, in the ring with them? Lawan
And
also
I don't know if
says,
this message went in, but what up, fellas? Three Pal Podcast is on site tonight. Tonight we got Shane on Mac, Triple J, and our host, my tag team partner, Mundo 24. Holla holla.
see, I was going to give you a bell
Yeet.
because your tag team partner is not the host tonight, it's me. But you know what, Lawan, because I like you, I'll give it to you anyway. Shout out to you, baby. Thanks for coming as always, and do stick around. We listening to your messages, and we need your opinions. We love to hear from you. So moving forward, it should be very interesting moving forward to see how the new day yeet will continue on. So after that, of course, they recapped Thursday's Mania kickoff show, and then they showed the Mania trailer to get us hyped up and get us excited. But you know what? Since we're talking about this, let me ask this question. Let's say, because of course, you're going to use the main event, the main attraction piece that happened that night to have this Mania trailer. Des, I'm going to start with you and Jay to follow, and then Lawan, you can also add in also. Do you see them putting out another Mania trailer?
Oh, definitely. We're in Hollywood time now. We got The Rock in this, so we are. This is going to be completely Hollywood moving forward. And The Rock's a heel, and the last time he was a heel, he was Hollywood Rock. So I expect it. Whether it might be a piece from this Friday, because we're expecting The Rock and Roman Reigns to be on SmackDown this week. So yes, I see it coming. I want it to happen, like I said, and I want it to be not just for that match only. I want it to be for all the matches because all these stories that's being told, and as far as going towards WrestleMania, it'll be huge. Jay.
I'm gonna keep it short and simple. As my guy Ryback will say, feed me more.
I see maybe two more trailers coming. Maybe we'll get the final trailer with maybe something that's like 2 minutes with them showing everybody face to face, doing the same thing like the trailer we saw this evening. So I think maybe that would be dope if they did that.
Cool, cool. We agree also. Jay, did you really just refer to Ryback? Did I hear that right?
Yeah, I did, bro.
Goodness, why? Out of all people, him. He is like the biggest, most diesel crybaby. You're talking about Cody crybabies. That dude, he like deliberately cries online for attention. And it's like it's almost like he's trying to gloat himself so that he can show all the wrestling circuits how they're stupid not to sign him up, especially WWE. And it's like, why? Who cares? I know I certainly don't. We don't care. Who
Shane,
care, sir?
do you not find it funny that since he was released or whatever happened with him, he hasn't been seen anywhere else since, but online crying?
Because who wants him? I mean, would you really want to see him return to WWE? Des, then Jay?
No, because we during his run in WWE, we all called him the fake Goldberg until Goldberg came back. So no, I don't. He didn't bring anything to the to the table. No pun intended. But no, I would not want to see him come back. It's no relevance.
Exactly what Shane said. We don't need him. There's no chance in hell he could come back. He was one and done. And when the Shield put him through that table once, what, two, three times, he deserved it. Every single one. So, stay away, crybaby.
The only reason why I mentioned his name is because you used him as a reference, and it just sparked all of these feelings back in my head and reminded me of all of these clips that he put out and all of these quotes that a couple of these wrestling pages had, that mentioned that said, Ryback thinks this and Ryback thinks that. And you're like, who cares? Who
Yo,
cares?
remember the shit he used to do? He used to bang his head and be like, stupid. That shit used to be retarded.
Ugh. He needs to put out a meme. You want to be famous? Put out a meme doing that, talking about yourself. We have a message, y'all. Guess who it is?
Goldberg meets RVD's wardrobe, basically. Feed me more.
I completely agree. That is exactly what that
Yeah.
of Goldberg's ring stuff versus RVD's ring attire. Perfectly said. I don't. Do we call you what the boom tonight, or because you said a different name on Friday? But that was perfect.
Yeah, I've been calling him Boom. Shout out to Boom. 3 bells for you, man. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for the message and stick around, man. And we would love to hear your opinions moving forward because we have a lot to talk about. So back to the show. There was a quick little video package from Andrade. For that one person who don't know that Charlotte Flair's husband, he has this package that, to me, it basically said, "I'm back and I'm ready." They showed all of these clips of him fighting, jumping off the ropes, how he was an NXT champ, and how he had a champ belt in WWE. So I was like, it was almost like a Veer type of vignette. Am I the only one that's thinking this way, Des, and then Jay to follow about Andrade?
You just cursed that man by saying Veer. Like Shane, why would you put him in the same category as Veer? Shane, like legitimately Shane.
Well, because what was the point of that package?
Because in the package, what he said was that basically before his first run in WWE, he wasn't sure of himself and what his goals were. But now that he took some time away from WWE to regain who he is, he's saying that he's, like you said, he's ready now and he knows what his goals are and what he wants to accomplish in WWE now. Yes, the NXT title was nice, the US title was nice, but he wants more. So that's what I got out of it. What about you, Jay?
I actually liked it because it was detailing in the fact that he was like, look, I left for 2 years. I went somewhere else to try to find myself. He put that mask on his head and he finally found himself. And 2 years later, he's back where he was supposed to be. And he's ready to take on new challenges, new matches, and get back to the top. He's one of those guys that we felt when he was first there, had good momentum, but he was just sidetracked with the fact that, to me, I felt his English wasn't up to par. I always kept on saying that's why, maybe a reason why Santos got pushed a little bit further than him over the past year and a half or two. And right now, we can see his English is getting a little bit better. So, kudos to Andrade, and hope he brings it when he comes back. And Shane, no way, bro. Don't ever compare this guy to Veer. He is not as garbage as him, bro. He's at least 3 levels ahead of him.
So wait, so y'all saying that Andrade is better than Veer? Veer's garbage, basically. Like I insulted Andrade by comparing him to Veer.
Yes, Veer has done absolutely nothing in WWE. Andrade, like we saw, he was an NXT World Champion and he was a United States Champion. So already off rip, that makes him better than Veer. Veer has all he's done has was basically do vignettes, and you saw him once or twice, and you never saw him again, and then you saw him again as a lackey for Jinder Mahal, and that was pretty much it. So yeah, definitely
Well,
no
I
comparison.
apologize. I apologize to Andrade if what I said came off as a disrespect. It was only, I don't know, it was just just a thought, the way that it was packaged. It was a, hi, my name is so and so, and I'm here. I did this and I did that, and I'm back and I'm ready. That's what the Veer, well, at the beginning, the Veer vignette wasn't that detailed, but before he hit the ring, you started seeing some of his clips on the things that he did, talking about how he was going to, he was coming back. So that was the only reason why I compared Veer to Andrade. Just the video packaging, not the athletes themselves. Fair enough. But here's my question: since we're on the title of Andrade, okay, he has won these titles and he's back and he's ready. So do we see him on the lines of possibly Intercontinental Road, U.S. title road, or even the World Heavyweight Champion road? Which road do we see Andrade aiming for, or can at least be on the starting line for? I'll start with Jay and then end with Dez.
I really think, in my eyes, I see him going first for the IC title, but I wouldn't be too surprised if he tries to jump the line real quick and tries to get himself into a top tier title. Just because of the fact is, we don't know what road is going to be led with him and for him, because there's a lot of mid card guys that we could look at, taking that next leap, and he just fits right into that mid card spot. So I would say, yeah, IC title first, but don't be too surprised if he jumps up there fast.
And I agree with Jay. I see him going for the IC title next. And to me, with this reign of Gunther seemingly coming to an end, whether I don't, I'm not going to give away what we're going to talk about later, but whether it being at Elimination Chamber or WrestleMania and him finally relinquishing the title, it gives a lot of guys, a chance to become a champion. And I think he can be in that conversation, because you from what we saw tonight in his vignette in the past um, history of him. He's a bigger dude now. He's apparently he started off his wrestling career as a lucha libre with a mask, and now he took the mask off and stuff like that. So I think that moving forward, he will be in the conversation for the Intercontinental Championship. Once that title, hopefully, or not hopefully, but like once it is, moved off of Gunther, because even if it isn't, maybe he will put up a good fight against Gunther. But I see him going for that belt. Right now, Triple H, who was a mid card guy for a long time in his career, I see him building up that mid card, those mid card people. I mean, as we all seen with Ivar and Chad Gable and stuff like that. So I can see that, and the fact that he's Charlotte Flair's husband, which is sad to call him that, but you know, he's gonna have a role in WWE on Raw moving forward.
Yes, he looks awesome, and yes, he kicks ass in the ring. But those mic skills, when he talks, I don't know why. Maybe it's me, but it doesn't. It doesn't. It almost sounds like a voiceover, almost like a karate film, where you have somebody talking Chinese, and then you have someone English dubbing over his. Is it just me that's thinking that, Des? You're laughing. Is it just me that's thinking that?
Because now that you say that, that reminds me of Kai and Tai. Remember when they would have I forgot the sidekick's name, but he would be like, Indeed. But
Indeed,
before
yes.
but before we would hear that, he would say a whole bunch of shit that and it'd just be like, indeed. So, that is hilarious, Shane. Why would
See,
Shane?
and now if you watch if you watch that vignette again, you're probably going to see it now.
Shane, really?
Oh, here they go. There they go. There they go.
Yo,
There they
tell me
go.
why.
See,
Tell me why I played that recording in the house and I got the weirdest look. Like, what the fuck are you playing? I had to explain I had to explain what was missed because you know
Oh
she didn't get to see it. So I was like, "Yo, look, this is what I'm laughing about. This is hilarious. This is like pass me the gray poupon." I remember at first Des was trying to get Shane to like it, and Shane was like, "No, no, Des, don't do this."
but Shane knew
I
Des,
that
still don't.
but
I
Shane
Des
still
force
don't.
fed it on.
knew that I
No.
was onto this damn thing. I was gonna play it whenever. So
No, it's only funny because of his timing when he plays it. It's not funny by itself. It's only funny when the timing when Des plays it because it's a shady moment. That's why I have because it's a shady line and he plays it at the perfect shady moment. That's what makes it now funny to me. But I don't like that clip a lot at all. But I do know what clip I do like. This message from Lawan Fair.
He would definitely be in that conversation. I definitely see him winning any other title he could get his hands on. You know, not because he's just good in the ring, but he's married to Charlotte, so he got the plug. She's the plug, so the plug is going to help him get to where he needs to get to.
Interesting. And if I was a businessman, I would milk all of that up in order for me to get what I want to get. Why not? She would do it if it was the other way around. Why not? Guess who we're talking about now? Good old Bobby and Friends. That's right, Bobby, not A&D, but the letter N. Friends. And we also get to see the newest friend, BFAB. And to me, BFAB, they all stood there. And I don't know. Again, I'm trying to open my mind to BFAB being part of the Friends. But that shot of them four standing there, she just looked out of place. Bobby, of course, was in his ring gear because he was about to go for a fight. And then you had the two Street Profit guys. They was in their suits looking good, looking crisp, ready to go anywhere, making big money. And then you had BFAB, looked like all she needed was a whip and a command, and you could put her to work. But she just looked out of place. She didn't dress the part. Because even if Bobby wasn't fighting, he would have wore a suit also. So you mean to tell me if you four was doing like a backstage interview or if you was doing a live mic talking to us in the ring, that's the type of attire that you would wear and complimenting the rest of the Friends and Bobby? Or is it me bugging out once again? Des, we'll start with you and Jay to follow what I just said.
well, Shane, you got to remember when Bobby and Friends, the Street Profits, first started. You know, they weren't in suits. You know, it took a few weeks for Bobby to convince them to change their look. So it might be the same situation with her. She's comfortable in wearing what she's wearing because of what she did with, here we go, I got it right this week, what she did with Hit Row. Not Hit Time and Crime Row or whatever the hell I said last week, but it was Hit Row. So, she might be still in that mindset. So, give her a minute. She just got accepted. You know, I I don't know what the hate is with her. I've never seen her fight before. The only thing I've ever seen her do was that kick that she did to Scarlett. So I'm gonna rock with it. I'm gonna rock with
So
it.
so let me
Yeah.
ask you this fair question. Being
So
that you don't know why so many people hate her, why do you like her?
it's not that I like her. It's just that I'm giving her a chance. People. She's moved on from Hit Row. That's not her anymore. And Bobby and Friends need that woman in their entourage. Remember what happened with Alpha Academy when they were going against Judgment Day? Excuse me, they were going against not Judgment Day. They were going against what do you call it, Viking Raiders.
Viking
They,
Raiders?
they got the woman that they needed. They needed Maxine to just make stuff fair. And in the environment that we're in now with WWE, it's not like the men attack women anymore. So you got to have that woman. Think about it with the OC. when it was just the Good Brothers and AJ Styles going against the Judgment Day. Rhea Ripley was the deciding factor in things, and then they got Mi Chin. So I'm gonna let her rock. It's still fresh. Everybody has to forget about the whole Hit Row situation and just let it play out. It's too early to be judging. Let it play out. That's all I ask.
But see, that's the thing with me though. How can we forget about Hit Row when she is literally bringing Hit Row with her into Bobby and Friends? Like, I still see B Fab from Hit Row. I don't
Because
see B Fab with Bobby and Friends. Now I
because
understand what you're saying because this is the beginning. Is that what you're about to say? Because this is her
yes,
first time or whatever?
right. And then you got to remember when he recruited the Street Profits, they were still doing the whole the red cups. They were still doing dressing the way that they used to dress. But then we seen it eventually evolved week after week. He got them the tailors, and then they
Yes,
started wearing suits and stuff like that. So we got to give her some time.
sure. But then again, we like the Street Profits. That was the reason why Bobby was one of them, because he liked what they delivered. They already had that magic touch.
But in
Why are
that
you
same
bringing her in, and why does she has to be groomed? She should already have something for her to have been attracted to. That's what
in that
I'm saying. What
in
is
that
it about her? Because again, everybody else is saying the same thing. Oh, her again. Why is she here? She's trash. She's this and she's that. What is it about her that is attracting Bobby and Friends? What is it about her that complements the Friends? That's all that I'm asking. And if
she
it's nothing,
she came to Bobby during that time too, and was talking to him. We don't know what their conversation was at that point
mhm,
when he was trying to recruit the Street Profits. We don't know. And like I said, I told y'all that there was his interview that he had where he was literally praising her and saying that she is she can be better, and he's gonna work on making her better and stuff of that nature. So I'm gonna give it time. I know you guys don't like it, but I'm gonna give it time. Jay.
Hey, I am not part of those guys that don't like it. I I think about it in this way, like, you know, she hasn't, like Shane would probably be like, she hasn't wrestled enough to prove herself and who she is. And then once she got to the, main roster with Hit Row, you was like, she was still out of wax and out of sorts and didn't have herself. So now this is like I've been saying, this is her third chance and basically her possible last chance. So, with Bobby, this is a work in progress and there's baby steps to it. As that's so also noted, stated that the fact that, you know, the Street Profits were all hippity hoppity, bouncy, running in the crowd, enjoying life. Red cups were flying everywhere. You know, then, after a while, Bobby stopped them. They turned into dapper dons. So with what she wore tonight and how she presented herself, maybe she needed to be on a different angle. But it was like she was so far away from the camera view. It seemed like the camera tried to just shoot itself more towards Bobby and push the Bobby and Friends like on a disappearing angle, because all I really got to see from them when they did the fist pumps and everything was just that. You know, I wasn't really. It was hard to focus on her outfit because you couldn't really see her as much.
Jay.
So talk to me.
No, no, this is for you. No, no, this is for you. Unmute yourself. So in reality, do you really think that uh, Hit Row, they were gaining ground in the beginning before they got let go the first time? You don't think that Vince never gave them an actual real shot? Because they were fan favorites. They were fan favorites. We've seen that same shit happen to like Enzo, Amore, and Cass. They were over with the fans, but it's just Vince just didn't see it. And we got lucky that DIY got through, another group that was over. But you see how their stories branched off once they got off of NXT. So like you don't think that Hit Row didn't give it a real chance. They didn't get a real chance under Vince, and that to me is the stain that she has to live with. But I'm giving her a pass because I'm like, we're under a new regime. Triple H knows what he's doing, and if he didn't believe in her and her potential, he wouldn't be putting her in this faction right now.
That's true because what I see with BFAB is, with when she was with Hit Row, what hurt their momentum from the jump was losing Swerve. Swerve was everything to that group. Without him, the group is not as what it's supposed to be. You know, top dollar, top
They
dollar
were set,
didn't even get your top dollar didn't even get 3 fights in that NXT.
they were
You
set up
know,
for
Ashanti,
failure.
Yeah, from the jump.
Because
From the
how
jump.
can you group without the leader? It doesn't work that
Swerve,
way.
Swerve basically had all the fights on NXT while they were his sidekicks, and they had basically like 3, 4 matches themselves, and they trash, you know. And then you call them up to the roster like they was hot already. No, they wasn't that hot. They was part of 2.0, and they wasn't getting over that much on 2.0, but they got hot for like maybe 3 weeks, and they brung them up, and he was like, oh no, why now? Let them build momentum as being heels in NXT. But no, everybody just got dumped one by one. And once you dump Swerve, you called them up. And that right there was the failure setup.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like they never got a fair shot because Triple H was out of the company at the time. So anybody in NXT was not protected at all. Shawn didn't have a say in nothing yet because Vince had his boy running NXT. So it was just bad all around. So that's what I'm saying. Like people tend to forget that. Shane, I don't put you in that category because we're still new to NXT, but I'm very aware of this part of this, and I'm just like they never got a fair shake. And we had the story where it seemed like Ashante was going to get his situation corrected a few months ago when he was meeting with Nick Aldis, but we haven't seen anything since. So that's my gripe. That's the only thing. That's why I still root for B-Fab because you know she just never got a fair shot.
They had this one segment where they rapped in the ring, like they went in the ring and they had their mics and they did a whole rap song. I guess it's supposed to be like an original song, a hit row song. And I was like, oh God, please stop. Please stop. It was just, ugh. I did not like it at all. And it was like one of the reasons why I didn't like him.
Shane,
And
was
then it
that
seemed to be,
was that when it was 4 of them or 3 of them?
I don't even remember. I
That's the thing.
I
If it was
don't
3 of them,
remember.
what we're talking about, that's like having Destiny's Child without Beyonce. It don't work. That's having Cisco. That's having Drew Hill without Cisco. It doesn't work. You can't have the lead person missing and try to think that the others are going to carry the show.
Well, now you have Michelle trying to join, I don't know, a girl group, 702. Now it's 4 of them. You want to have 704. I don't know. But like you said, I'll give her another chance. So you had this. This was a match with Bobby Lashley versus Bronson Reed. And this was for a spot for the men's elimination chamber match.
Shane,
Dez.
Shane.
Dez.
Before you move on, can we play the voice note because it's on that last topic that we had, so we don't play it after we move on from it.
Sure. Thank you for reminding me of that. It's Formula One.
Well, B-Fab need to hurry up and get it together. She's a great value of Alicia Fox, in my opinion. Great value version of her.
Which one of you said that last week? One of you said Alicia Fox. It
I
was you,
did.
Jay? Mm.
I did. I said with the way that kick went, that me and Des keep on talking about, that gave me the Alicia Fox vibes straight off that.
That's another women's wrestler. I don't think got her proper shine for being the wrestler that she was. Vince just didn't know what to do with her, but she had talent. She could have been way more than what she was in that company.
Interesting because she was very annoying. Before she left, her character became very annoying, very whiny, very complaining,
That's
and,
Vince.
and it overshadowed her talent. That was a very unfortunate situation. She was so annoying. But hey, if she keeps doing these kicks that you guys are loving her for, maybe that'll be her meal ticket to stay in and to move forward. Keep giving the kicks. Hey. But speaking of kicks, Pat said something funny during this match of Bobby versus Braun. Des, why don't you remind us what he said because you brought it up on the chat and it was hilarious.
Bruh. Pat said a lot of shit that was funny during that match. I'm sorry. I believe one of the things he said that about Bronson was that he's so big. Like he was like, yo, it must be really hard for him to wipe his ass because it's hard for him to get back there. And then he turned around and said, he's so big, it looks like he's carrying luggage because of the way he's just stacked. And I was just like, yo, Pat is on one tonight. And the whole match, he was digging into Bronson Reed. That I was laughing at the commentary more than just watching the match. That shit was hilarious to me, bro.
That's
Hilarious.
terrible. That's terrible. I tell you what, though, I bet people saying you better not say that about Nia Jax. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Say all the crap you want about Bronson and his size and his big ass, but you say 1 pound over of a joke about Nia, the feminists will be all over you.
She don't look like a football player. He looks like somebody, like literally, like the way his frame is. I get it. It's the same thing with Otis. You know, they just have that frame where they're so big that their arms look really small, and it's just like, bruh, like they really do look like they're carrying luggage the entire time that they're walking around.
So since I have your attention, Des, and then Jay to follow, what were your thoughts on the match tonight? Bobby versus Bronson.
I was excited to see Bobby on Raw, you know, because he's a SmackDown guy. That dude is powerful as hell. He is strong as shit. My God. I'm not surprised by it though, but I thought it was a good match. You know, happy that they grouped them together. You know, because I've had a lot of gripes with the groupings of these Elimination Chamber qualifying matches. But again, same way I felt about Drew versus AJ Styles on Friday. I feel it with this one. This was a good match. Power versus power. It was able, you know, they were able to showcase Bobby more. They were also able to showcase Brunson Reed as well. And that crowd reaction for Bobby, man, it's undeniable, man. Like, bro, the crowd is really behind him. And I see why that whole heel turn did not work, because the crowd really likes him. I like him. And I want him to be champion again, you know, and in a non-Thunderdome situation. I want him to be a champion again in front of people. So I thought the match was great. Like I said, wrote in my notes, it was freak power displayed tonight by Bobby Lashley. And the winner of that match was definitely the winner that I expected. Jay?
I'll put it like this, yo, that match, wow. But the entrance that Bronson Reed had when they were showing his Titantron, like a King Kong type entrance, with him busting the buildings down and then grabbing one and breaking it, I thought that was fire. I was like, wow, they making him like big Bronson, you know. So he boom, 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 and then he comes to the ring. I felt that was fire, And I'm not gonna lie to you, I thought, since Elimination Chamber was in his hometown, that maybe he would have actually won the match. But with
Agreed.
Bobby, right, with Bobby displaying what he did tonight, yo, I haven't seen Bobby be this strong probably since he fought Brock Lesnar, or his fights back then when he was U.S. champ. This was a different style Bobby tonight. Like everything was on point. The superplex from the top ropes. Bronson brung it, but bro,
Jay,
Bobby's on a different level.
Jay, that
Talk to me.
superplex reminded me of Bret Hart. Remember back in the WWF days, back then, we didn't see that often. But bro, that superplex, man,
It,
I'm happy. But yes, I'm happy you brought that up. But God damn, God,
it, 15, 20 years ago, that ring would have broken, caved in if he would have done that. Nowadays, the rings are so protected. You're like, shit. Why something didn't buckle? This would have been a perfect night for the ring to buckle during the match.
All right, so we saw that, of course, Bobby won that match, of course, but he won it in good fashion. He won it in good style. So let me throw this quick question to you before we move on, talking about Bronson, because we're seeing that he is getting better and better and better. But in my opinion, one of the best matches I've seen Bronson in was between him and Otis. So is it fair to say that tonight was better than that awesome match that he had with Otis? You know that match I'm talking about? Des and Jay to follow? Which match you thought was better?
um, yeah, I know what you're talking about. That was a great match because it was just two big guys, just two meaty men slapping meat. But yeah, that was a great match. But this match, uh, again, it's the progression of Brunson and going against someone like Bobby Lashley, who's been a former WWE champion. And it just, it's again, like I said, Triple H was a mid card guy for so many years. So it's just elevating the mid card guy to a higher mid card, which, puts him in the air of the Intercontinental or US champion, and eventually boosting him up into the main event slot. And he delivered. He did what he had to do. And again, the first time I remember seeing Brunson was sometime last year. I think it was Raw 30 or prior to that, and he was fighting on the main event, and he was fighting Tozawa and people like that. For him to be in this conversation now, going against a former WWE champion, I like it. It's working, and to me also, I don't know about you guys, but that what do you call it? That splash that he did. Damn, I forgot what it's called. It's not the Swanton, but it was Jay. I need to lean on my historian. What's that move called that he did?
I don't what the sit down spike. No,
No,
I don't know I don't know what they call it.
he slammed Bobby, and then from from the floor, he he uh he jumped in the air and just dropped himself on Bobby, and the entire crowd plus me and Pat was like, oh, like he just completely squashed him before he even went up to try to do the tsunami. That was crazy. And I'm just like, yo, I'm invested in this dude, and I like to see his progression. But Jay, go ahead.
Well, with Brunson, I just felt he needs more right now. He needs more momentum. He's not getting the momentum. He's lost a couple of fights in a row, and you're right, Shane. That was probably his best match he's put up on the card on the roster. When it was with Otis and also with Ivar. So with these couple of losses in a row by him, I'm not too happy by it, but I'm happy by the fact that he's facing main event caliber guys now, as opposed to other mid card guys that are just mid card and tag guys. So now that we got him, like Des said, against a former champ, this is big for his progression. So like I noticed what they're doing also for the women is that they're having a rumble for them. I think they'll do the same for the men, and I'm still giving hope that Brunson somehow gets in this elimination chamber to compete in front of his peoples.
Shane, you have a message.
I was just about to play it. But Bronson, dude, you may not have won the match tonight, but you definitely kept our respect. You definitely have my love, and I'm sure you won a lot of other fans tonight. So here's a message.
I thought it was a good match, but I thought Bronson Reed deserved the chance instead of going to Chamber instead of Bobby, for the simple fact that we know that this guy's going to interrupt and fuck up his chances in the elimination chamber, carrying Cross. So it would have been better for Bronson Reed. Plus, he's from Australia and all that. He could have showed Australia his talent, man. It could have been a nice homecoming for him.
I mean, Lawan, you kind of just answered your own question by saying why Bobby would be, because of the fact that Karrion Cross would come in to add the action to that whole the whole match, as opposed to Bronson. It'd have been just Bronson, maybe perhaps.
Shane, can I comment on that real quick?
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I actually thought that Karrion Cross or AOP was actually gonna interfere in the match tonight and cost Bobby the match. Which would further their storyline that we have on SmackDown, but it didn't happen. So it's kind of odd to me. I think that was the best chance to further that storyline by having them interfere and costing Bobby that. So that was my take on that.
You don't think it's possible that they might do that for Elimination Chamber?
It's hard because it's a structure that's locked, and it would be the only way that they would have a chance to do that is after an elimination happens and they open up the door to get somebody out, then maybe they would come in the ring. But it's like I don't see that happening. I think tonight would have been the best chance for that to happen.
So you don't see it like them like throwing a mist or being a distraction or trying to grab a piece of clothing or something, like anything to just like distract them and to add that, just to add another layer to the match as a whole.
The only thing
Since we didn't see it tonight.
The only thing I can see is them jumping him before he gets into the ring.
Mm.
That's pretty much it. Other than that, it's like I'm already in the chamber. I'm not gonna pay you no mind because of the fact that I'm already in here. You can't get in, so it would have to be before he gets into the chamber for me. That doesn't mean I'm right. I'm just saying that's my opinion.
Okay. Do you agree with that, Jay?
I'm gonna say, I think they fumbled it today. They could have continued the storyline because I was one who wants to see the storyline progress because, like I said, I don't really like them that much, and y'all guys do want to see what AOP and these guys can do. So I'm like, if there was ever chance to make this storyline with them hit something good, it would have been tonight by interfering and letting Bronson win. You know, I really feel that maybe that momentum is stopped now because now Bobby got a different focus and that's the chamber. I think they could probably really push the storyline away and just let the friends take care of AOP while Bobby focuses on Elimination Chamber.
Shane, I'm getting a message from our producers in my ear. They've noticed that Drew, aka AJ, is in the listeners column, and they just want to remind you to ignore any messages sent by him because he's been interrupting our show. So yeah, I'm just relaying the message that I'm hearing. Yes, I hear you loud and clear. Yes, I hear you. I'm relaying the message right now. So I'm just letting you know, Shane, because they're annoying me right now.
Well, according to the earpiece on my ear, I'm hearing, based on the reactions we got from the last time he was here, he is more than welcome to leave a message, and I am more than welcome to play it if he leaves one.
These are lies. These are lies. Don't you lie, Shane. That is not what I'm being told in my ear right now. I don't know who's lying to you and telling you this in your ear, but what I'm hearing in my ear is the exact opposite. Okay, the exact opposite. And I
Well,
will
I tell
be.
you what, stand clear for the closing doors, for I have another message.
I think the best thing to go forward if you're going to distract them is showing the Street Profits getting the ass whooped in the background. Bobby Lashley just looking at the screen like pissed off that he can't.
I don't know what we're listening to right.
Lawan, this last message you left, we can barely hear. Can you repeat it? Maybe you could talk into your mic, whatever, louder. The last message you left, Lawan, we can't hear. So see if you can repeat that message for us. But meanwhile, let's continue to move on. We had a recap of the bull rope match. I hope I'm saying that right, because I think I called it bull cord or bull string. It was between Cody and Shinsuke Nakamura.
It was bullshit.
It sure was. But we knew why that match came to be, right? Because of a home show that Cody did, and then Shinsuke came and sucker punched him. So that's how that match became to be. But then at the end of that match, if I got this right, Drew came out and snuffed Cody, and then Shinsuke and Drew was on Cody, and then Sami Zayn came in and helped Cody out. Did I get that right? Which led to the match later tonight with Sami versus Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yes, sir. You got it 100% correct.
I got it 100% correct. Before we continue, let's pause on this thought. It looks like Lawan has sent enough a message.
I said the best way for him to get distracted at the Elimination Chamber will show that the Street Profits getting their ass whooped in the background by Karrion Kross and his team. And he's distracted watching it on the screen while he's in the chamber. And then someone just catch him with a finisher, and he gets eliminated from there.
The distraction technique, Des, and being distracted from the outside. But then how would you get his attention from the outside? But that's an interesting thought. That's an interesting way to do it, right, Des?
Yeah, what he's saying is that that it would be basically something happening backstage, and it'll play on the Titantron in the main arena. Bobby would see it, and while Bobby's watching what's happening, someone in the match would hit their finisher on him, and then cause and it'll basically cost him his chance at facing Seth at WrestleMania. So that's possible.
I see anything's possible, but I have a feeling that we're going to see them. We're going to see them then, because we didn't see them tonight, because tonight would have been a perfect time. But for some reason, I feel like they're going to be at the Elimination Chamber, but we'll see. So let's head back to this Sami interview. Sami did an interview in an empty arena, I guess the arena where they were at tonight. And he had this quick little saying. He says,
last week I talked to you about where I was this time last year. Well, this time last year I was standing in that ring face to face with Cody Rhodes. And I told him, hey, if I want to main event WrestleMania, I have to believe in myself, because otherwise nobody else will. And that belief in myself is what carried me to WrestleMania. That belief in myself is what's carried me throughout my entire career. So yes, I still believe what I said when I said last week, I am a contender and I will be a champion. Jackie, it's a promise, and I will get there.
Des, I start with you, and Jay. Well, Jay, I'll start with you, and Des to follow. Do you believe Sami for what he just said?
Oh no, I don't know, because we got it 2 weeks in a row with him, and it's like we already know which way you're trying to go, and let us know that you're not forgotten, but you got to just stop losing, my guy. You feel me? That's what I'm just mad about with him, is that he's talking this talk and is not producing nothing. And to me, fans are gonna probably sit back and think like, damn, yo, you did this 2 weeks in a row for what? Don't continue this and then lead us another way. I want to see what's coming forward from him, because one that was like, look, I gotta see what he's gonna produce out of this because, like I said, I feel this is gonna be an eventual heel turn, and it's just going down a path like you expect it sooner or later. He's in a crowd with nobody, so he's feeling like a nobody. So that's what he's selling to us and to me at the moment.
I think that it's just he's lost right now. He was in the main event last year, WrestleMania Night 1. He won championships last year. Um, I don't know about a heel turn because again, he has the fans still on his side, so you can't blame them for what's going on. And I think that eventually he'll get to that promised land eventually. But right now he's in a struggle. Usually when a wrestler is in this situation, they're gonna get eventually moved off of TV. But Sammy is different. Right now he's in a state of how can I put it? We all have this type of run in our lives where shit is not going our way, but we keep the belief and we keep pushing forward and we don't give up. And, eventually it'll turn around for you. And that's how I feel for Sammy. It's going to eventually turn around for him. He might find his way to WrestleMania. Like I said, I still believe that his path to WrestleMania is latching on to KO again and helping KO in his situation between Logan Paul, Grayson Waller, and Theory. So I'm going to keep going with what I predicted weeks ago, months ago now at this point. So I believe it'll turn around for him, and that'll be his path to WrestleMania. His best friend needing his help. That's what I think. Shane O'Mac.
Well, we're gonna stick in there for you, Sammy. If you believe, because that's important. First things first, you got to believe first, and then we believe. But it's getting harder and harder, dude. But we're sticking in there, sticking it in there. So right at the end of that line, the jumbotron comes on, and it's Mr. Nakamura, and he pretty much says, I will pick up your soul and continue my warpath forward, dude. What warpath? You're doing the same thing again. You're on screen, it's red, and you're talking all of this stuff, and then you have this catchy last word phrase, and look what happens. You don't deliver. You've done it time and time and time again. You had an opportunity to do it last week. Did you do it? And the stipulations it was right there. It was right there for you to win, and you didn't do it. So now you got this guy here, and you're going to do the same thing. So you have two guys here. We're rooting for Sammy. We want to believe in Sammy, but he's making it harder. And we already lost faith and lost belief in Sammy. Jam, I'll start with you and Des to follow. Do you agree with what I'm saying? Or do you actually do have faith in both Sammy and Shinsuke? Jay?
I would say I I would think each wrestler has a different path to where they're going, And with Shinsuke, he likes to pick on people when they're wounded. Similarly to Cody was wounded. He knew Seth was wounded with his back. He just likes to pick on people that are, you know, that type of style for him. They're vulnerable to him. And with this one tonight, I was kind of feeling this one because I'm like, yo, it didn't happen last week to Sammy when he came out and talked. Nobody appeared, but for an opponent to appear on the Tron while he was there, I was like, yeah. Now we're talking because we do want to see a match that pits two guys that are on different paths towards where they want to get to. Shinsuke doesn't care about any belts right now. You can see that just straight up from him. He just want to pick on you, and that's the type of wrestler he's being right now. So with Sammy, like I said, I'm sad, and I'm gonna keep on saying it. I'm just waiting for the heel turn. This is all angled towards that to me.
Well, to jump on what Jay was saying before that last statement, yes, it's two wrestlers going in completely opposite directions. We actually have an end goal for Sammy because he stated it, but I don't know where the hell uh, Shinsuke is going right now. Now that he's lost to Seth and Cody, I don't know what he wants. So I'm kind of confused by it. So of course I'm gonna rock with Sammy. I have not lost faith in Sammy, which was your question, Shane. I didn't lose faith in him. I'm still rocking with him. I still believe in him. Shinsuke, I don't know what the hell he wants to do, what his end goal is at this point, because now that he's going after Sami Zayn, I guess he wants to, completely. I guess he wants to help this quote unquote heel turn that Jay is speaking of with Sammy, but I don't see exactly what his end goal is. But with Sammy, he said that he wants the believers in him, like me. He wants to prove us right for believing in him, and it's a redemption story in my eyes. And I'm gonna keep rocking with him. I'm not against him at all. I want him to succeed, and I wanted him to win tonight. So, yeah, that's my take on it. Shane.
Very good. Very good. So we'll see what happens moving forward. We'll see what's up Shinsuke's uh up his sleeve and see what he's doing. Because it seems to me that the reason why that he's on Sammy is because of the fact that he helped him out when he fought Cody. So this is like, oh, so you're sticking your nose in my business, so now you got to deal with me type of thing. But then again, with all of that talk, how much backing up can you do or can't do with all that talk? Because out of everybody here, you are doing the most talking and at least some other things to prove and to back up what you're saying. But,
Shane,
sir,
I know it was a comma, but I'm sorry. But I have a question for you and Jay. Actually, is that okay?
hit it.
How do you guys feel about these? Again, this goes back to the first thing that you asked us as far as with the new regime taking over the editing and graphics and everything of WWE. If y'all noticed, since what was the last Royal Rumble? Since Royal Rumble, we've been getting these visuals of the wrestlers entering the arena when nobody's there, and we're seeing the backstage stuff. And how do you guys feel about them doing that? And then with these last 2 weeks of promos with Sami Zayn in an empty arena, how do you guys feel about that? Shane, since your mic is unmuted, and then Jay.
I like it. Just like you mentioned at the top of the show, it's the little tiny things that makes a big difference because it looks different. It's new. I'm sure it's new for the talent as well, and it just gives like a more broader look instead of it being so just so scripted. Let's do this, let's do that. Because this is what we usually do. But now it's like, okay, let's try this. Okay, you're having two interviews. Okay, instead of standing here in front of the raw wall, let's come outside here. Let's sit right here in the arena with the lights on and stuff like that. That way, I mean, I don't know. To me, because of the fact that that setting, I'm talking about the interview with Sammy, it seemed more intimate.
Shane. So like I said in the chat, when the voice came, Shinsuke's voice came over during that interview. At first, I thought they was going with some angle as like the voice of God or something, but then they panned into to Shinsuke. But they also showed the cameraman who was recording the interview with Sammy, and I forgot her name, but the chick that was interviewing him, and they panned into the Titantron. Like, do you like that? Do you like them showing that, Shane?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Like that shot, that's just like that's a realness. That's just like that shot was what you called an established shot. So basically, it's supposed to show where Sammy and the interviewer was, and where the big what do we call it, the Titantron, where they were in terms of positions, rather than him being like in front or in the other side. They specifically showed that shot so you can see where he was, especially when he was looking at the screen. So I understood exactly why they did that shot, and I thought it was awesome. I thought it was awesome that they added that to help tell the full story visually as well.
Jay, it's a lot. So remember what the first question was, and remember what I just asked Shane. Shane, I'm gonna ask you, and then Jay, you gotta ask. You gotta answer everything. But do you guys feel like we're entering or re-entering that time in WWE where they blurred reality and kayfabe right now? Because I had a person who doesn't watch wrestling message me the other day. I think it was Saturday, and he saw on the internet, he was like, bro, you know, I know you watch wrestling, but he was like, I seen a clip on the internet where The Rock slapped Cody Rhodes, and it felt real. It was like, is this real, or is this like a part of the story? And then he was like, then I seen The Rock curse out Triple H after that. So I'm like, he was confused on whether it was a storyline or whether it's, blurred with reality. So do you guys like, this current style that we're moving into? Like I said, I think it goes into what I was telling you guys the other day with the epiphany that I had. I think it was Friday when I mentioned, like, I think I understand why they did what they did on Thursday, because going into this new Netflix era, it's not cable where, they have to follow certain standards. Now it's like, okay, they can show us a different view of things. That's, we heard a lot more cursing and things of that nature. So do you guys like this era that we're moving into with the camera views, with the graphics, the language, and everything of that nature? Shane, and then Jay, you just answer everything.
We talked about this in the chat where we talked about too chilled. We was talking about, we was quoting the Undertaker, where he was talking about how everybody is like chill, but a little too chilled. I think that's the secret ingredient for everything that's going on right now, because now we're under this new environment. Well, they under this new environment where there's not so much stress over them. It's more relaxed, giving them, it's making them more comfortable. And once you're more comfortable, you're given these scenarios and you're able to play it out better because of the fact that you don't have all of these heavy strings to restrict you. You have all of this freedom so that you could be free to fully show your emotions. So you're able to act it out even better, as opposed to you being so scared to get it wrong or so scared to accidentally curse that you kind of like pulling back so that you won't, quote unquote, offend or get, the boss angry. But being that we're in this cool environment, it's almost like we could do basically almost anything with, as long as it's okay. It's not, overboard. It's a comfortable environment for everybody all around. The talent as well as production. It's like a whole new world. It's like a whole new company right now. And I absolutely love it. We can see it, and I love it. Jay?
Jay, with what Shane just said and what I asked, do you think that's how do I say it? Do you think that's a product of the fact that WWE has merged with UFC and they're blurring the lines, and it's giving more of a UFC style of entertainment and production?
Let me just say something for a second. I gotta answer three questions right now. So you just asked me another question on top of another question on top of another question. So I'm gonna go back to your original question and start from there. So from the
Bro,
beginning, what? I'm gonna start. I'm gonna just go. I'm gonna go from there, and yeah, with the Sammy visualization that we got with the cameraman and everything while Shinsuke was talking, I felt that was hot because you seen the way the camera just pulled itself away little by little to get that Titan. I mean, the Titantron or whatever you want to say was playing up top. I like that, and it's giving us insight to knowing that Sammy's being interviewed by somebody and that somebody's actually recording the interview. I felt, as a fan, these are things we need to see what really goes on behind the scenes within wrestling itself. We always know that there's just the person talking and the person they're interviewing. Now we're getting to see the cameraman. We're getting to see now a visualization of nobody being in the arena, which lets us know that the wrestlers are coming to work early and actually preparing themselves more and much better to things. You know, so with the next question to the kayfabe part that you was mentioning, as far as with the second question, I would say everything with the visualizations that they're having now and just everything on every angle within what we see, it's like Shane would say, it's a laid back thing. Everybody's happy to come to work. There's nobody yelling at you in the back, telling you what to do. You're probably getting hit with your storyline a day or two in advance, and everybody's on the same page pretty much. And you see it much more from the wrestlers themselves when they come to wrestle. There's not many mistakes. They're all delivering, and it's good for the product in general. So I'm all for that movement into, you know, the next era, the next gen, as what these young ones will want to call it. The Gen Z era of wrestling. This is cool. I like what we're seeing. And then with the whole UFC thing, I've been kind of saying it. I know you mentioned the Netflix part, but also we got to see who's their other partner, and that's UFC. And UFC always gives us a certain story before the match in advance. A month, it might be 2 or 3 months, you know, and we get to see now small video packages. What I'm hoping we get is like similar to what HBO Showtime be doing, and they give us the full insight, like maybe a 20-minute talk with them at a table, face to face, and we really get the cursing and everything else going on as a prelude to the event, like a day or two before it. So, to answer everything, this is all I have to say, guys.
And Shane, I just want to thank you for bringing that up. These are questions and things that I just thought of off the top of my head. It's nothing that's written down. It's off of what you first asked as far as the whole Sami Zayn interview. And I just started thinking about this stuff. So thank you, Shane. And thank you, Jay, for answering the questions. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Back to you, Shane.
No, dude, please. That was an awesome question. And it was a fair question. I love that question. And that's why Three Bells is so awesome. See how we think? We just think just so awesomely. And it's unscripted. You get to see the cameras. You get to see the empty ring. You get to see behind the Jumbotron here at the Three Bells. You get to see who has socks on or house shoes on or their Timbs.
This guy, I am dead.
Dead.
Come on. He said no socks. He said socks on.
Socks and
Bro. Yo, Shane, know the crazy part? I just took my socks off. That's crazy how you just said it.
See?
Let me say it. God damn it, Shane. What the hell are you talking about? Nah,
See, it's all crazy, but isn't it facts? It's facts, though, because dude has no socks on. See that? Relax and chilling. So, since we are relaxed, let us get unrelaxed and think about this here. This person who was introduced as the winner of the 2003 and the 2004 Royal Rumble match, Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes, he came out.
Shane.
Jay?
You just went back 20 years in time. You said 2003, just to correct you.
I am so sorry if I did. 2023, 2024. Did I really say 2003? Oh my goodness. Let me put this cup of water down.
I didn't even notice. I didn't know that. Let me put my cup down too. As you said that, like, what? My bad too.
Yo, I was like, wait a minute. I know I go back in time with you, but I was like, wait a minute, I know you're not talking about Gold Dust now.
Oh, Jesus. Well, I tell you what, Jay, shout out to you for being the only one that noticed that.
I can't wait for the playback because I'm going to laugh at this.
And I'm sure you're probably going to remind me to, oy vey.
You know I'm going to send that. You know I'm going to send that clip. You know I'm going to send that clip.
Totally. So let's talk about 2023 and 2024 Royal Rumble match winner, Cody Rhodes. Hashtag we want Cody. He had a few lines here and there on the mic. They played a clip from the Pat McAfee show where The Rock was talking about the crybabies and chicken nuggets. And then Cody goes, you put your hands on me, I got to hit you back. And then our good friend Seth freaking Rollins, he comes out. And Cody thanks Seth for helping him out on Thursday for the kickoff show. And Seth went on this whole thing telling nothing but facts. And one of the things he said that really stood out was that the landscape after Mania will go dark if Roman wins. And there was another thing that he said that really stood out to me. And he says,
And I got to admit something to you right now. The man Roman Reigns is partly my fault. Nearly 12 years ago, we came down those stairs in tactical vests. We were brothers, forged from the same fire. I taught him everything I know. I am partly responsible for the man that he is, but I could have never imagined the monster that he has become. And now, that monster's got two heads, because he is standing side by side with the only person on this planet who is as entitled and selfish as he is. But when it comes to fighting the bloodline, when it comes to fighting The Rock, when it comes to fighting Roman Reigns, there is only one man on earth who is uniquely suited to be your shield.
Starting with Jay and end with Dez. Your thoughts on that whole segment?
I put it like this: the champ came to work today, as he's always been doing. This man delivers. Oh my God, I fucks with Seth so hard. Like, bro, he saved that whole segment because when Cody came on, I was just like blah 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 blah. Finish talking. You know, once Seth came on, I'm like, yeah, now this shit's about to, heat up. And the fact that he did mention everything that you just, display for us in the video, I mean in the audio of what Seth said, that's what I literally wrote on my paper because I felt that was the biggest point in which what Seth said was true. Like, he created this guy 12 years ago and didn't expect him to be the monster that he is now. So, his ego's up to a million, and the only way to stop him is by me being on your side. So, if it's gonna take this way, bro, I got your back. And it was cool. I like this shit. This is why I always kept on saying, like, yo, we gotta sit back and really watch how this whole thing plays out now. Once Punk got out, and once we know that shit happened with Brock. So now we're getting to see angles that are different, and I love it. That's all I gotta say is that I love the way this is going. I love Seth. He is visionary.
First off, I want to just say to Shane, I'm loving these audio clips that you have from Raw tonight. It's spot on. It's perfect, because it doesn't make you have to repeat what he said. We hear it from the guy's mouth himself. So I'm loving that. Thank you, Shane. Thank you for that. You're making it hard for me to follow up my next week Monday Night Raw. I don't know. We may have to just keep this change permanent. I don't know. But that whole promo was just incredible. Jay, you don't have to be a Cody hater all the time. My gosh, Cody was making good points. He played a clip of The Rock on Pat McAfee's show, you know, talking his shit and crowning the whole Cody Crybabies hashtag on that show, and if we heard Pat was like, I was not expecting this. He was completely lost, and Cody looked at him like, yo, bro, what the hell? What was that about? So that was interesting to me. And then Seth coming out was right. It was right. It was needed. He didn't save the promo because I seen that on social media. People were saying that Seth made a good promo go bad, but I disagree with that. Seth he was there on Thursday, and he's a part of this whole situation because Roman keeps taking shots at him. He keeps taking shots at Roman. Seth was cussing out The Rock. The Rock was cussing him out. So I loved the entire promo. And Jay, Jay, I think I'm gonna have to give you Shane. Unmute yourself and please give Jay 3 bells, please.
We're giving Jay 3 bells?
Yes, please give Jay 3 bells, Shane.
We just gave Jay 3 bells.
Because Jay has been, regardless of what the situation was or how it was going to play out, Jay's been saying that Roman was going to be in a 2-night situation. And if you read between the lines of what we heard tonight with Seth, it sounds like that it will be a tag match on night 1 between Seth and Cody versus The Rock and Roman. And then eventually it'll lead to night 2, which is Cody versus Roman Reigns. And I gotta give my guy his props where it's needed, because me personally, I've just been like, oh no, that's not gonna happen. But it makes sense now. And Seth saying what he said about being your shield, basically telling you he's gonna take the blows for you, which might compromise him in defending his World Heavyweight Championship against whoever wins the Elimination Chamber. I'm not gonna get into storylines and my predictions with that, but yeah, I agree. It might be a 2-night situation for Roman Reigns, and it might lead to Roman losing the title on that Sunday, and possibly face Rock next year because of the fact that Roman did lose the belt and embarrass the family and embarrass the bloodline, and now The Rock has to take his rightful throne as the head of the table. But yeah, that promo was awesome. Again, I just want WWE to give every main event type of match that same attention. I don't want anybody. I don't want anybody to lose out on that. Everybody deserves that same love and writing. As much as Roman and all of them got. So yeah, I got that done.
Let me ask y'all this then. If they going down the angle of a so-called tag team match, do you feel it gives Mr. Money in the Bank a better chance to try to cash in on one of the wounded champions on that night, knowing there's two times the there's two of them in front of you, and you could cash in on either guy. Do you think that plays a role into it coming for that?
Jay, well, what I said was that that it'll hinder the world heavyweight champion Seth Rollins with him being in a match on that Saturday. So if they try to pull the trigger on him having a match that Sunday, he's going to be hurt. We already know that he has a bum knee, so I think that it'll probably go that way. He'll face whoever won the Elimination Chamber. He might beat them, and it'll be or it might be the same situation where it was Roman versus Brock a few years ago, and Seth cashed in and turned it into a triple threat match at the end, where the two combaters or the two opponents beat each other to hell, and it might lead to Damian just capitalizing on the woundedness of both competitors and winning the match. So, in my opinion, that might be it. What about you, Shane?
I mean, it seems to me that night one is going to be Seth versus whoever wins the Elimi, and then night two would be, I don't know, where would this tag team fall in? Because
That's
you
what
still have Cody versus Roman, which is
that's
going
what
to.
but that's what I'm saying. Night one would be the tag match, and night two would be the main event that Triple H pushed for on Friday. That's how, to me, that's how that would work. You don't think so?
No, so see, and it can go so many ways because you're talking about Seth fighting whoever, so he has to close, and then whatever The Rock is going to do, he's going to close, isn't he? Close
That,
with Roman.
right. That's what I'm saying. They would close night one with the tag match, and then night two we would have the World Heavyweight Title and the WWE Universal Championship. Um, you know, competed against on the same night. Obviously, we've had this situation before where both belts were on the same pay-per-view, and the World Heavyweight Title would be the first one to be defended, and then the WWE Universal Championship would be the closer of WrestleMania overall on that Sunday.
Hmm. That's interesting. I have a question about that, but before I ask, let's play this clip quick fast.
Great promo,
Message.
great promo by both of them guys there, man. It was important too. I still don't see the tag match happening, but I do see Seth Rollins in Cody's corner during Mania. It could go good, and it could also go bad.
Has anyone seen these mock-up promos for that tag team to happen at Elimination Chamber? Has anyone seen that?
No, again, like we stated
No.
last week, we stated that it was mentioned a month ago, so that uh, Roman Reigns is not booked to be at Elimination Chamber. So I don't see anything with him happening at this next pay per view. Everything is pointing towards WrestleMania. So yeah.
All right, so here's my second question. Jay, you can ask first. Jay, you can answer first, and then that's the follow. And anyone in the chat, you can leave a message. Okay. So Seth Rollins is basically saying that he's going to be in Cody's corner for his match because of the bloodline, and you don't want to be there by yourself, Cody. Is there a chance that Seth would have someone else with him at Cody's corner? In other words, would there be somebody else besides Seth at Cody's corner? Jay?
I don't think so. I think since Seth and Cody have been, frenemies in the past, and you know how they usually be talking about that keep your friends close and enemies close, or whatever the situation may be. I think that's what the situation they're gonna face with each other in going into it. I'm thinking an addition will be onto Roman's side, as to where they might have an additional person that we haven't seen. Because remember last Thursday, if you go back to when The Rock showed the family tree, he showed one of the Fatus up there that I think he showed Jacob or Zilla, put them on the list. One of them two was on the list of that family tree. So I wouldn't be too surprised if that was just one of the clues we got as to who's probably going to be next to come from the group. That's what I feel. I feel it's more on the bloodline side with the addition of someone as opposed to Seth and Cody having somebody.
Well, for me, I would say the help that Seth might get to help Cody would be CM Punk, because he mentioned that he would still be involved with WrestleMania somehow, some way. Yes, he's not, able to wrestle completely, but that doesn't mean that he's not able to be there and somehow swing a chair or anything of that nature. So my vote would be for CM Punk to somehow, aid in the situation because of all the shit that he was talking on Thursday as well. So that's my point. That's my vote. Shane.
That would be so awesome to have CM Punk there. You know how big of a distraction that would be? And can you imagine the stare down between him and The Rock? Because don't forget from from Thursday, when CM Punk was talking about, if it was me, I'll punch him in the face. Just that and the third, The Rock was standing on stage and was looking at him. So it was like, we see something going on here. This is a to be continued situation here. Because one thing about The Rock never forgets. He doesn't forget. So he is going to. I see something brewing between them two, and I would love to see him on the side, like joining Seth at Cody's corner. But we shall see. All in all, it was once again an awesome
Shane,
promo. Yes, Des.
I'm sorry to interrupt,
Uh,
but I mentioned the fact that they have unfinished business from 2013, like CM Punk mentioned on Thursday, and the fact that The Rock was the one that not he dethroned CM Punk with the WWE Championship a few years, 10 years ago or 11 years ago at this point. So it's it could be a continuation of that story as well. So that's why I entered CM Punk into the chat.
Go ahead, Jay.
my thing is, do you think we get CM Punk versus The Rock at SummerSlam this year? That would be a doozy.
I mean, if sure, I would pay for that. What about you, Des? I would totally pay for that.
Um, if that's good, honestly. Wow, I didn't even think about that. The Rock versus CM Punk, but again, you want to keep The Rock on this non-losing situation where it ends up with him fighting Roman Reigns at the end of the day. So I don't know if they would go that route. Sorry, guys, I got freaking FDNY coming in my background, so I'm sorry. I'm gonna go.
Yeah, are you on fire? The roof is on fire, dude.
Not somebody around here. So
the roof, the roof, the roof is on fire.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like really, like seriously, it's not me, but you know what?
Cast thy peach today!
Ugh. 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 But speaking of, I don't even know what they said at this point. I don't even know what they said. I don't know. I don't know. But I tell you what, though, let's go backstage. Let's go backstage and join the New Day Yeet party. So they had just celebrated their victory from their match earlier tonight. Say congratulations, congratulations. And then it was officially announced, that Jay was going to fight Gunther for the IC Championship next week. Jay, start with you and Des to follow. What were your all in all thoughts of this quick little backstage interview, I guess you call it, party celebration? Jay?
It was too fast for me, man. Because I went to go get some soda from the refrigerator and tend to my dog for a second. I didn't even see much of it. By the time I came in the room, all I saw was them just jumping around happy and exchanging, shades or whatever. So I was like, oh, this guy must have got a match. So I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really see the whole thing.
Well, again, I still got this whole situation going on in my background right now, so I'm gonna be quick with it. Hopefully, it's not picking up too much, but yeah. Hold on, I'm sorry, guys. Hold on.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's almost like at the same level as your voice. Like it sounds like you're holding the. It sounds like you're holding the hose and you're putting out the fire.
Right, I'm sorry. I mean, curse this goddamn new mic.
But hey, it works.
But
It
yeah,
works, but it works too good.
it's too good right now. But yeah, basically, it was a quick promo. You are right, Jay. It was a quick promo. Not much was said. They were just, gloating that they won the match tonight. And then once the backstage announcer announced to them that Jay was going to get his Intercontinental Championship match next week on Raw, they were hyped. Jay passed off the glasses to Kofi Kingston, and they were just hyped. That was pretty much it. It was nothing too crazy. Nothing crazy was said, and I'm all for it. Let's see Jay get his chance. I'm upset that it's going to happen on Raw because I don't expect much to happen as far as a title change on Raw. It might be a situation where it might end in hopefully it might end in a disqualification or something like that, and we save it for a pay per view like Elimination Chamber. But yeah, that's pretty much what I got.
So basically, you're saying that you don't see no title exchange. You don't see no title exchange. So you don't see Jay winning the title next week.
I'd be shocked. I mean, how many Intercontinental Championship matches have we seen over the past few months between Gunther and how many opponents between Chad Gable and Bronson Reed and everybody? It has not happened. I would be completely shocked if they decide to let Gunther drop the belt at on a Raw versus it being a pay-per-view. So yeah.
We shall see next week. So we have another Elimination Chamber qualification match. This is on the women's side. We have Liv Morgan versus Zoe Stark, aka Evagina. Something interesting I picked up I was reminded by a couple of people that was on Twitter, aka X. They said that, we saw Liv Morgan come out. She came out, walked the ramp and went to the ring, and then they had a commercial break. But then when we came back from break, Zoe was already in the ring. So somebody was like, wonder if they did the commercial because she has such a low to no pop. So they figured that, they spare Zoe the embarrassment of the low pop versus the louder pop from Liv Morgan. I don't know, maybe perhaps. The match itself was okay. It was a good match. Evagina was showing her strength, and I honestly thought, if you was looking at the match, you would say, okay, hands down, Evagina is going to win this. But it reminded me of Becky's match on that weak ass ending on how she won. It seems to me like this finisher that Liv did, it was so weak. I said, again, we're going by this weak finisher. I wasn't happy with that. I wanted to see Evagina in Elimination Chamber. Are you kidding me? That's gold. But maybe it's just me. Start with Dez and Jay to follow. What were your thoughts on this match?
Well, I think they, wrestling wise, they might have missed the spot because that code breaker that Liv hit against Evagina, aka Zoe, from the top rope or the second rope, to me that should have been the finish. And it was weird. But I'm gonna say this: she being Zoe put up a better fight against her opponent than Zayna. Excuse me. What is it? Yeah, Baszler did last week against Becky Lynch, and the match was less sloppier. It was a better match. It was a better match overall. But you know, we already knew. We spoke about this last week. We already knew that Liv was going to win the match. That's why, as far as the women, I didn't like the grouping that they did with the matches, as far as like who would face who, versus the men's Elimination Chamber matches, where it's like, okay, he could win or he could win. The women was like, all right, we already know she's gonna win and she's gonna win. So overall, the match was good, but we already knew the outcome of it, so it kind of spoiled the match, in my opinion. Jay?
Hey, Dios míos. I did not like this match at all. I'm not gonna lie to you. It felt off, but most of the match because I was one who was rooting for Evil Gina to win the match because she deserves more. She got trained with Trish, and and you kind of expect her push to be a little bit better than what it is, and it's like she's a sour dill pickle right now. She don't know which way to go. They don't know which way to go with her, and I could care less if Liv Morgan been gone a year. Give this girl a chance. This girl just got there. It's basically, she's still fresh. Don't set her back, you know. And you can tell in the ring that they absolutely had zero ring time together. Everything was off mostly, And like you said, when that code breaker happened, you're expecting the match to go 1, 2, 3, but it didn't, So everything just felt off key within the match itself. And like I said, the outcome wasn't how I wanted it to be. The Oblivion was hit bad, and I could care less for this Liv Morgan character we're getting. Evil Gina, I hope you find your way to a better path.
I hope so too. And you know what else I hope? I hope Liv Morgan is the first one eliminated. I hope they fold her ass in half like a dried up newspaper and just get her out. Especially with the bigger talent that I have a feeling that's going to be added into the Elimination Chamber. But I got to show love. Congratulations to Liv Morgan. So let's go backstage. We're going backstage now for gang, and it's Judgment Day and R-Truth. So R-Truth, he's walking next to the guys, and he's like, says something in the thoughts of, hey JD, why are you still here? You're not part of Judgment Day. And these guys, they basically are sick and tired of R-Truth. So Damian Priest, he finally said, you know what? I got this, fellas, I got this. And this is what Damian finally said.
Truth, enough, man. Look, we've had laughs together, but that joke is over. This is not part of our crew. You have never been part of the Judgment Day, and I've been clear about that from the get-go. Every beating you've gotten was just a beating. There was no other alternative. It wasn't an initiation. There was no re-initiation. None of it. Nothing. I'm being serious, man. Look, I know it's hard for you to comprehend things sometimes, but I'm going to be really clear, and the message will be simple. Tonight, it's an execution. Can you get that through your skull?
I don't know. I don't think he got it. I think it went right over his head, just like before. Dez and then Jay to follow. What do you think?
Oh, no. Truth got it 100% because when they went on commercial and came back and they show R-Truth in the gorilla position with Adam Pearce, R-Truth was calling The Miz and trying to see how long it would take him to get to, Raw, to help him because he said, Miz, I believe what you said. The Judgment Day is trying to get me right now. So he said it. He said that that the Judgment Day was trying to take him out or whatever that nature. So he got it 100% for the first time. And it was still in the funny skit because of the fact that he was telling Adam Pearce, give me a minute, and then his music started playing. And Adam Pearce is like, you don't have any more time. Your music's playing right now. You got to get out there. You got to do this match. So he got it again. Same as Bebe. She understood what was going on with her and damage control and what they were doing. So for the first time ever, we saw R-Truth literally understanding what the hell is going on between him and his opponents at that moment. So he got it. Jay?
I like to say this: kudos to Damian Priest on taking yet another leadership role without Rhea being in the back. We kind of seeing now with these clubhouse things going on that Rhea's too distracted by what she got going on, and we're seeing the leadership of Priest and Priest letting everybody know what we're doing, how we're doing it, and being real with everything that he got going on with himself with it, because we don't see him gloating about what he has as far as titles and money in the bank. We see him just playing that role, and I like it. He made R-Truth understand what was coming to him. So, I'm very happy with what I saw and what I heard and what it led to. So, Shane, there you go. There you have it.
Well, before Shane, moves us on, I want to give actual flowers to you, Jay, and to Tristan, because the two of you guys said that it would be a situation like this where Damian Priest is being very nice in a situation to R-Truth, and he was, telling him straight up, this is what's going on. It's not initiation or reinitiation or anything of that nature. This is what it is. He was telling him, from jump, this is what's going down. And like I said, from him having that conversation with Damon Priest, he understood that this shit is real. And that's why he called The Miz and was like, bro, because he understood, like, bro, you got my back and I need you here right now. And unfortunately, because of the current health situation going on with Maurice in real life, The Miz was not at the show tonight.
So before we continue, I know me personally, I want to give a special shout out and a hug and a kiss and prayers to our homegirl Maurice. We love us some Maurice. So we are definitely keeping you in prayer, Maurice, for speedy recovery. Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's for you, baby girl. That's for you.
Yes, in all reality, in all realness, seriously though, she's going through something very real, and like you said, Shane, we would like to give our prayers and everything to her. And girl, you better fight, because you are a fighter, and beat that cancer, because cancer sucks.
Amen to that. But going back to what you guys are saying, I don't see it because this storyline, it's too juicy. It's too popular. It's one of the most popular storylines out there. I don't see it ending yet. I see once again next week comes. Truth would be like on some, oh, you guys are just playing. You guys weren't serious. Something on that angle for this to continue. I don't see it ending yet, especially with the fact that Miz. We don't know how long Miz is going to be gone, so he needs to stick with this, and it's a hot topic. So Jay and Des to follow. All in all, what were your thoughts on the match between Truth and JD, especially with that amazing Devil Inside finisher, which I thought was like the single most best moment I have ever seen from this damn JD guy the whole time he's been on.
Pez Dispenser finally displayed some action tonight. Finally happy for his big-headed ass. He got a win. He gave us a little something tonight, and I liked it. But what stole the whole thing for me was the fact that during the match, we R-Truth when he was getting offensive and doing his moves and everything, McAfee was like, "Damn, I'm 36 and I pulled a muscle, basically taking a shit the other day." And I'm like, oh my God, here we go, McAfee, with his one-liners tonight. That
Bro,
was that had me crying.
when he said that, they actually showed an angle that was showing the announce desk, and Michael Cole was literally was like folded up laughing when that happened. Like, obviously they have a mute button where we don't hear him laughing, so he hit that mute button and he was folded up at the table laughing, and I'm like, bro, I was laughing too. I'm like, really? Because Michael Cole before uh Pat McAfee said what he said, Michael Cole was like, I'm in my 50s too, and I can never think to do a move like that. And then that's when Pat said his line, and that was hilarious. I'm telling you, Pat was on one all night tonight. That guy, I love Pat McAfee. But Jay, go ahead and finish your thoughts, bro. Man,
Yeah, that was basically it because well, McAfee stole the whole thing from me. He made that match what it was because he is really gold on the mic. Like, if anything, this was probably the best of him that we've gotten since he's joined the team. And bro, keep it up. The momentum's there. You and Cole have something that others don't have. To have Cole at his age leading the cavalry, having a guy like McAfee who's hot right now, it mixes. And us fans of the older generation seeing Cole go up and handle the shit he's been through with announcers, this might be his best announcer ever as far as, the chemistry. It's there. We might not see that type of chemistry for a long time.
So
that's
Des, before you
go ahead.
answer, like in terms of the question, like you can mention everything that happened in the match because I want to close out this segment. So, like your thoughts on this whole match from beginning to end, including what happened after the match. You're more than welcome to mention or have your thoughts on that. And then Jay, if you like, you can jump in on the on his thoughts as to after that match. Des?
Well, copy that. Yeah. Again, to me, my highlight of the match was the same that Shane mentioned, was that goddamn the devil inside. I was like, what the hell was that? But that was so cool. That was a great finisher by JD. I don't know how long he's been holding that in the chamber, but bro, you should have let that shit off months ago. Like, god damn. Like, shit. I loved it. The match was cool. But again, that was the highlight. And like Jay said, the commentary of Michael Cole and Pat McAfee just stole the show. Pat, I love you, Pat. I'm happy that you came back. Jay, it's no question that, from what we got with Pat while he was on his SmackDown days with Michael Cole, he's the one, and Michael Cole mentioned it, he's the one that literally brought the best out of Michael Cole. And I'm loving it on Raw right now. And then, we saw, JD got the win because of the whole Judgment Day situation, blah, blah, blah. I'm not a fan of them being mean to R-Truth, but they were. And they started jumping him. It was, four guys on one, which is not fair. And then we saw DIY come down to the ring with chairs in hand and clear out the ring, which was awesome. And I was happy about that. And it actually led to something in the chat that we were discussing. And Jay mentioned, that he could see Pete Dunne and Tyler Bates challenging the new, not the New Day, but the Judgment Day. God damn it, so close names, for the SmackDown Championships, and then DIY challenging the Judgment Day for the Raw Tag Team Championships. And to me, that's perfect, beautiful, because I've been crying for Triple H to separate these belts for the longest. They have no point in being unified any longer because they're no longer in the bloodline. So let's separate these belts and let's get these tag teams on Raw and SmackDown a fair shot across the board. But yeah, I just thought that was great.
And Shane, to answer the question, as far as like I said, it was a good match. Happy that JD finally got a win under his belt, being as a singles guy. That might be his first roster win. And the fact that they jumped R-Truth at the end, I was just like, oh, great. Here we go again. 2 weeks in a row, they're going to jump my guy. Poor Truth, you know. And then, it was good that DIY came out to save him because, like I said, it brought Shane's question to truth the other day that we was like, wait a minute, it wasn't kind of making sense in the beginning, but now it was like, oh shit, that just popped into the head. Like, yo, DIY just did this. These guys got a tag title match at Elimination Chamber with these guys. Something's about to happen eventually where it's gonna brew to the split. So I'm looking forward to that, and let's see how it goes down. So Shane, your vision was there. It's there. I appreciate that.
Well, thank you, kind sir. And hey, now is the time. This is the time. And again, going quickly fast back to the announce table, how we're talking about how we love these guys so much now. It's because they're so comfortable. You don't have anybody in your ear saying, "Don't say that. Don't do that. Calm down. You're being too excited. Relax. You don't have to hear any of that no more." We even seen Michael when he changed. Like when everything changed, we saw a brand new Michael. So now we have this brand new Michael with this Pat. Pat can be Pat. Man, listen. Let's listen to this message. This is a brand new message from a brand new person. She says,
My bad, I'm late, but I'm here. The Three Bells Podcast, Monday Night Raw Recap, WWE Three Bell Podcast, hashtag Monday Night Raw with Mundo 24, Triple J, and Shane O'Mac. Looks like you guys are having a great conversation. Anyways, hope you guys have a great night. I'm in here listening, although you might be closing out. Who knows? Shout out to the last three, although there have been up 24 plus in here today. Goodness.
you know
Shane,
what?
Shane, that spotlight.
That sure is. And you know what, Spotlight? You know what we got for you? We got that for you, Puddin'. Thank you so much for coming in and leaving that message for us. We like you, girl. We like you, girl. Love you, girl.
And you know what, Shane? I'm so happy, and so are the executives that were in my ear earlier that we have not acknowledged Drew tonight. So thank you very much for not doing that, and please do not do it now that I mentioned it. But don't do that. I got something for y'all though. Damn, I lost my question. Damn it.
Because of your shade. You see that shade? That's what shade would do to you.
Wow. I had a question, and revolving around that last topic that we were talking about, but I can't even. Damn it! It was a good question too. Yeah.
Well, I tell you what. Let's continue on, and then as soon as it hits, I'm sure you're going to interrupt me when it hits you. So, by all means,
I won't. Trust me. It's not written down, so it was something that popped in my head while we were talking about it, and I forgot. So,
and it's going to pop in your head as I talk, and then you're going to say, "Oh, now I remember." Let's go backstage again. Where we have Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn was sitting and chilling, and here comes Cody. And Cody says, you are not the only one who believes in you. I believe in you. But more importantly, they believe in you. He said, put the head down. Give me the brother hug. Give me a hug. Da, 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 da. So we already discussed as to, how much we believe in him and how much we sticking by him. So that was like a nice little promo, a nice little backstage, thingy. Is there anything that you guys want to add to this quick fast before we move on, or are we okay? Des and Jay to follow?
Yeah, I think we're good with that. I mean, like you said in the chat, Sammy was getting a lot of TV time tonight, and that's, like I said to you, was only because he was the main event of Raw, and they're trying to push this story about him being a struggling wrestler, trying to, I don't want to say finish his story, but like just push forward. So I'm good.
Honestly, this is news to me. That was my bathroom break part of the night because we didn't have one tonight. So I'm sorry, guys. I missed that, and I didn't write. I didn't have nothing written down to say. So yeah, Cody, part of the time what I do on your time.
He did that on purpose. He just don't like Cody. That's all that is. He knew Cody was coming and was like, whatever.
Yeah. The fart sound would have that statement that Des just said true, unless you wouldn't have farted. You wouldn't have farted like that. All right, so let's move on. We have some a woman conversation. We have some conversation with Becky Lynch. She was on the microphone and she was basically talking about the life as a wrestler. And he was talking about, having conversations with her daughter in terms of what she does, why she's always getting beaten, why she's always gone. And then this cute little line when her daughter asked Mommy, why Daddy wants to fight Maui? Maui being the animated character that The Rock had voiced. So that was like, that's a cute little, reference that everybody caught. And then Nia Jax, she comes out and she does this fake crying. Like it was a Raspberry Award for Best Actress in a Raw Wrestling movie. It was horrible acting. Nia, you're my girl and I love you, but don't do that again. You can play sad without the crying. That was that didn't sell for me. But she was basically talking about, she's going to win to be at WrestleMania, and it's going to be, she's going to win Elimination Chamber so that it'll be Nia versus Becky at Mania. And then Rhea comes out and she just like storms straight to the ring and she's ready to fight. So for a second, it looked like it was like a three-way with Nia and Becky and Rhea. Des, I'm going to start with you and then Jay to follow. All in all, what were your thoughts on this segment?
Now, Shane, come on now. Shane, that was fake tears. It wasn't something to make you believe that she was actually crying. It was a part of the whole ruse. She was being, how can I say it? She was being sarcastic and, agreeing with the whole promo that Becky did prior to her coming out. It was never real. And then I text y'all and said that the next line that she's going to say is, but you're going to face me at WrestleMania. And then she said it. It was never for you to believe that she was actually crying. It was a ruse. It was fake. It was nothing. It was never anything real. So in reality, she did a good job. And again, she's basically telling Becky, stop overlooking me. I'm facing Rhea Ripley at Elimination Chamber. And who is to say that she's going to win? You're just bypassing me as the next contender for this match, for this title. And, This is the first time that Rhea has had a one-on-one at a pay-per-view in a long time. So don't bypass me. And I feel what Nia's saying. Rhea never beat her one-on-one before. Yes, they were in a match together before, but it was like 6 other people in the match. And then, they jumped Nia, and then it went against their, overall goals, because Nia lost because of the fact that they jumped her. So yeah, I liked the promo. Like I told y'all, Becky channeled her inner Aaliyah tonight with the whole baggy pants and hat and all that stuff. And like you said, Shane, Rhea, she went straight to the ring, and that's only because she's been getting her ass beat by Nia the last few weeks. So she's trying to look like a champion and someone who has control over the women's division on Raw. But in my opinion, if Becky wasn't in the ring to do what she did, Nia would have beat the shit out of Rhea again. So my thoughts. And let's end it with Jay, the resident Nia lover. Jay.
Actually, let me say this
Sure.
quick fast. Let me just say this real quick fast while it's fresh in my head. Des, I like what you said. Thank you for saying what you said, because it didn't even dawn on me that that was the reason why she did the whole fake crying and stuff like that, because it was part of her words of it was part of her delivery, which I didn't even realize, because being a student actor, one thing that I personally don't tolerate is fake crying. Like, I hate crocodile tears. But now that you said what you said, it makes sense for her character to do that, to be like, that heel, to be almost like an asshole. And now that you're saying that, and I'm thinking about that scene, I was like, okay, now it makes sense as to why she did that. So I withdraw my little critique, and I take the Raspberry Award back from you and actually give you an actual good award for pulling that off. So thank you, Des, for saying what you said, for me
No
to
problem. No problem,
change
bro.
my way of thinking, that because it makes sense what you said.
No problem,
Jay?
bro. That's why we're here, bro. Because you saw the switch up. The switch up was like that. She said one thing with the, oh my gosh, she was giving her the props about being a good mom and all this other stuff, and then she just switched it up quick. Jay.
Yes, sir, I'm here. And yeah, with that segment that went on, like you said, Becky had that one in a million outfit on where she channeled her inner Aaliyah. So good outfit, but still the hat, nah. nah. The lemonade, yeah, that was cool. The drink that she had, the toast and everything, when she toasted to Rhea, that was cool as shit. I thought that was spot on, because she had the whole crowd toasting with her at that moment. And then when the crowd heard her that she was making the toast to Rhea, the crowd was like, okay. Some of us just put our hands up. But when Naya came out, my girl came out. She came out and she talked her shit. I like the evolution of her because it's something different that she delivers every week. Whether it's one week where she tries to embarrass you, the next week whether she's just spitting facts on what's going on, and then now where she's manipulating you, at making you think she's one way and she's not, because now we see her acting skills to a point where we know she's good with it and comfortable at what she's doing. So she could change in all these type of roles that be like, yeah, this is what we expect from you, and just keep that type of an angle up as far as the wrestler that you are. And when Rhea came out, I was just like, oh shit, this shit didn't stop from last week. Let's get it, girls. It would have been nice if it was just a straight all out three girl war. I was like, yes, all three of them, and then a double leg drop. But no, we didn't get that tonight. So yeah, the leg drops are on hold for the week. Thank you, Nia, for showing face tonight. And you know, Rhea, you did your thing. All the females did their thing tonight. Kudos to them.
Real quick, I just want to mention this line by Becky, because since you brought up the lemonade, um, that line might have went over a lot of people's heads, but when she said bottoms up, I was cracking up, because it goes back to last Thursday when, right, when Becky mentioned that, because of the fact that Rhea always says that she's always on top, and Becky was like, well, Rhea, you will finally feel I'm sorry, hold on. You will finally feel you will finally understand what it feels like to be a bottom. And like,
That was wild.
yo, because technically we're supposed to pause that moment. Like, that's supposed to be a pause after that. Like, literally, we're supposed to say pause, but bruh. And then when she said tonight, bottoms up, I was just like, yo. I can't with Triple H is creative team. Niggas said bottoms.
That was smooth. That was real smooth. And then Nia came and knocked Rhea and that drink right out of her hand. I am so looking forward to this match with Nia versus Rhea. That is going to be that's going to be a good match. And I really hope, and I know for a fact that Rhea is going to bring the absolute best out of Nia. I know this. I can feel this, and I know this. We shall see. But
Do you
fellas,
think?
Jay,
Oh,
go ahead.
sorry. Just want to ask you a question. Do you think that that's the main event of Elimination Chamber, knowing that this pay-per-views in Australia? Do you feel Rhea versus Nia is the main?
As the main event, hmm, I don't, I don't know. I don't know. Is this the first time they're having an event in Perth? Like, I don't know what it's like out there.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, do you think that they would main event? I would love to see the main event. I mean, it is a title
Being,
match.
I would
being that
say,
she's
Jay, go ahead, Jay.
no, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
To answer your question, I believe it would be the main event. I see either the women's or men's elimination chamber match going on first. And then, whatever, because right now we don't even have a clear card for the pay-per-view that's a week away. So but I do think that it would be Nia Jax versus Rhea Ripley as the main event, because Rhea has been promoting the hell out of this shit for WWE, and she's been the person to promote this show. So I'd be shocked if they didn't main event.
Isn't there a tag team title also?
But you're right. That's the only other match. The only other match that we know about besides the 2 Elimination Chamber matches. And so, yes, I would like to redact what I said. I completely forgot about that, since everything's been happening on Raw and SmackDown. You are 100% correct, Shane. We got the Undisputed Champion Tag Team Championship match going on. We got, obviously, the women's and men's Elimination Chamber matches happening. And then we got this Women's World Heavyweight Championship match happening. So, out of all that, I still think that they would close out the show off the strength that it's Rhea's home country and she is over with the fans. So I don't see any of those other matches closing out the show. So yes, me, main event.
Go ahead, Jay. You had something to say, or you good?
I'm good. I'm good.
All right. Well, Jay, follow me and Des backstage, for you have Drew. Yeah, Drew was he had a nice little interview and he was talking about his match against Cody Rhodes. And one of the last lines he said that was very interesting was,
Cody, mate, I implore you, get yourself out of this match with me next week. You don't need this in your life right now. 2 things you should be avoiding: being in my prayers and fighting me one-on-one. You may not make WrestleMania. Just like Punk.
woo wee. Did you hear that shot fired? Did you hear that shot? Des and Jay to follow. Your thoughts on that promo?
Again, Shane O'Mac, I'm loving these these playbacks that you have queued up. Bro, you are really making it hard for me to come back to Monday Night Raw, because I can't produce what you're producing right now. Because goddamn, Shane, unmute yourself and give yourself 3 bells, because god damn, my guy.
Ding, ding, ding.
That's some ghetto shit. That's the same thing that I did when you were on SmackDown a few weeks ago.
But
But
and I was telling everybody, I was telling the guys this on the chat. I'm a production guy, so I'm supposed to know how to do this. I'm in production. This is what I do. This is how I roll.
and I am loving it 100%. Like, we don't have to sit there and write out what they're saying, because I wrote it out. But you got it. You got it. You got it. But I found what he said very interesting and very true. Like he said, don't be in my prayers, and don't get, basically don't face me one-on-one, because yes, he's right. He prayed for CM Punk to get hurt. He got hurt. Don't get in his way. Sami Zayn got in his way and he got hurt. He was out. So, that was a very strong interview promo in the back. And, he's. I mean, I don't want to jump ahead, but like he's right. But does Cody Rhodes listen? I doubt it. But yeah, I have nothing else to say. Like he was right. Jay.
Nah, that's a fact. I appreciate everything that Drew's been saying. He's not saying nothing that's on the wrong side of things. He's saying everything that's on the right side of things, and he's even letting the crowd know, like, look, bro, everything I've said is true, but the fans don't want to believe it. The fans want to believe this is supposed to be Cody versus this guy and this guy versus that guy, and y'all want to ignore what I'm telling y'all. Listen to me when I talk. And he's one of those guys where if you didn't pay attention to him before, you're doing it now. And I'm loving it, because this was a perfect way to set the angle towards next week's fight. And now it makes me look forward to it even more. This was great by, like we've been talking about, the production team as far as having a lead up to something that's coming up. And this is perfect. We could probably sit back and think like, yo, this is probably the main event next week, straight off the bat, without having to even tell us. You know, so I'm looking forward to this next week. And guys, take it away.
So real quick, Shane, and then Jay. Matter of fact, no, Jay and then Shane. Is Drew McIntyre really a heel, or is he, you know, being portrayed as a heel, but yet what he's been saying and the stuff that happens, like, is it like real? Like, is he a heel? I'm confused right now because the stuff that yes, his actions are heelish like, but what he's been saying is so true.
I would say for sure he's playing. Yo, he's a perfect heel. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I believe in it because you know I feel he's one of those guys that, like I've been saying for a minute with him, he's a likable character in the ring because the crowd still goes with him when he does his little 3, 2, 1 before he does the kick. So I always look at it as he's like Razor Ramon, or like the way Roman Reigns is. He's the heels that you love to hate, and you can't really hate them because they're one of your favorites. There's a lot of Drew McIntyre fans, and they probably all was like, you know what, your heel run back then didn't work, but your heel run now, this is prime Drew McIntyre, and it's best that we got it now than never from him. And I want to continue to see how he matures and grows into this heel character because we know eventually one day he's gonna be both combined, and we're gonna be like, damn, thank you, Drew. And thank you, Drew, for listening while we're talking about a Drew McIntyre segment yet again.
Shane, Shane. So
Mm-hmm.
is it a heel or is it basically the same? We talked about this last week. Is it a story being told by a hero that makes him seem like a heel, but when you listen to him tell the story, he's not the heel. He's just telling you stuff that you don't want to hear, but it's true. Like, is he really a heel?
Well, I said this before with Mello, as in he's a heel for good reason, and we're buying it. And he explains why he does the things that he's doing, and it makes sense, and we're buying it. And week after week, he does everything, and we buy it because it makes sense as to why he's doing it. And he's doing it to the good guys that we're cheering for, and the good guys that he once used to be. But he's a heel for good reasons. So for that, I say, dude, enjoy this ride, milk this baby out until it is bone dry, because we are loving it. One of the many storylines that we are absolutely loving. So keep doing what you are doing.
So Shane, in that same vein, are they really good guys, or are they betraying the good guy and doing bad things? Because you and I said that we didn't find anything that Mello was doing wrong, and we saw a lot of the flaws and the shadiness that Trick was doing, and that gave off heelish type of sentiments. And we felt more of the fact that Trick was like the heel of the story versus Mello. You feel me?
Sure. But in things like this, you have good and bad. Just like you have black and white, night and day, wet and dry. You can't just have two evenly good guys fight, you got to have the opposite. It's like, why is this guy bad? You know why this guy is good, but why is this guy bad? And then when you figure out why he's bad, you go, wow, you know what? I kind of agree with this guy. It makes sense as to why he's bad. Hell, I would have done the same thing. So that's why I like this angle that he's going, because we see why he's now bad. And we kind of agree with it. And we're like, yeah, absolutely. And he's being bad and he is fighting these good guys that we like. So absolutely. I mean, did I answer the question or?
Yes, because I'm just saying in the vein of Drew McIntyre, you know, is he really bad because he actually got Cody to make a decision which all the fans wanted? Is he bad because of the fact that he attacked him, last week, but basically, like he said, knocked some sense into him because he told him then, early in that night to finish your story? Is he bad for that? Is he bad for, obviously the whole situation with CM Punk wasn't planned, but, right now it's within the storyline. Is it really bad because now we get the whole Elimination Chamber situation with, everybody, and the possibility of maybe even LA Knight facing Seth Rollins at WrestleMania? Is he really bad for that?
He could be bad for it, but within good reason. He is bad within good reason. According to his world, according to his eyes, he's doing what he's supposed to do. It seems brutal. It seems bad, especially with the fact that he's actually doing it against the good guys. But all in all, he's the bad guy. And at the end of all of this, he wants the title. So I totally see him as that bad guy. But it's the bad guy we like because he's doing it for good reasons according to his mind. So if you think in his mind, in his sense, yes, he's doing what he has to do. But you're doing it against us, the good guys.
Or the perceived good guys.
Trust my peach tonight!
Mm-hmm.
Bro,
Mm-hmm. See, and the thing is, you're being worse than what you accused Drew of being.
Yeah.
Drew only did his thing one time. You did this shit how many times? Shout out to Drew.
he's doing it once every 45 minutes, which is
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Keeping account of this right now?
He sure is.
Look, Shane, I only did it because you said that I would. So I'm going to be a good guy and keep up with what you said.
No, you're being the bad guy with good intentions. That's what you're doing. Speaking of bad guys, if you want to call them that, they gave us a quick reminder, Jay, that Roman Reigns and The Rock will return to SmackDown this Friday. Dude, you have a lot of work to do on Friday. You heard, Jay? A lot of work, dude.
Oh, I already know. And trust me, this is gonna be a hard one for me. But
Mm-hmm.
I've learned a lot from you, so I'm keeping notes.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. And then Des will be on standby with his little sound effect. Were you about to play it again? Is that why you're laughing? Look at that.
Who was about to
Maybe
play
Des will
Crying
find a
Time
new one.
music? I just heard Crying Time music about to play. I heard.
All right, I'm done. I'm done. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry for interrupting. All right, enough.
Well, okay, I'm glad you guys are laughing. I'm glad you guys are in a happy mode because guess what? We're going backstage again. And once again, we are looking at R-Truth. R-Truth, he steps to the do-it-yourself guys, a.k.a. DIY. And he was like, he called them DX. And he was like, yeah, I got 2 words for you. And everybody says, sucking. He said, no, thank you. And then he walks off. Quick, fast, Des and Jay to follow. What were your thoughts on that backstage transaction between R-Truth and, according to his mind, DX?
Oh, okay. I missed that. I must have went to the restroom during that the backstage promo because I didn't understand why when they announced the 8-man tag next week with DIY and The Miz and R-Truth versus the Judgment Day, why Pat McAfee called them DX. I didn't get it. So that makes a lot of sense. R-Truth is a goddamn idiot. Oh my gosh. But it makes sense now to me. Jay.
To me, that was the funny moment of the night. As far as the smile of the night. R-Truth sold that shit by calling them DX. And in the back of our minds, when the two words come up, everybody's gonna say "suck it." That's the first thing coming out your mind. Your mouth is "suck it." But when he said "thank you," you're like, "Oh, R-Truth, no, you're being nice." You could have just came back to the camera and still said "suck it." That would have been nice to end it.
Yeah, but he psyched us out just by saying thank you, because he did help, because they helped him out earlier. So it was one of those. It was one of those. At the moment, for a moment, he was being weird, but then he came back to reality and said thank you. So again, it's one of those things where he just like throws us off. I'm telling you, it's all part of his master plan. And this led us to another elimination qualification match. This is the men's side. LA Knight versus Ivar from the Vikings. Jay, we'll start with you and Des to follow. You, I don't know. It seems to me that LA Knight is he's popular. He's like the hottest thing right now. But it seems to me that he is more impressive on the microphone with his little catchphrases and the way he talks about people. But in the ring, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Jay?
Um, I don't think this was the match to have him, but the guy to have him fight in this tournament, because I didn't think Ivo was even worthy of even being thought of to be in this match in the first place. So hey, if Ivar was the last guy chosen to be in this match, then okay. You could tell, like I said from an earlier match, that you could tell these guys didn't prepare. There was not too much going on until maybe three-quarters of the match through, and we started seeing the guys getting in their rhythm. And when they got in their rhythm, Valhalla wants to come around and do her little stuff and gloat and try to interfere, whatever. And when Sun tried to hit the his little moonsault, his doomsault, when it missed, you already kind of knew that match was about to be over. You know, I just that just wasn't a match that really had me going. Yeah, this was good. No, it was average at best, because I just felt like it was a missed opportunity by creative. Within that, you should have had a different opponent for LA Knight. I don't know who the opponent would have been, but I would have took a Ludwig Kaiser tonight against them. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Something different. I didn't expect the Ivar. I'm done. I'm done.
All right, well, going off of what Jay said, if that's the case, then you would have switched opponents from tonight's chamber qualifier. You would have had Bobby go against Ivar and LA Knight go against Bronson Reed. Um, because the whole fact was just to have LA Knight on Raw, and him being exposed to the Raw fans and the fans reacting to him being there, and it worked. The fans were loving it, and yeah, I mean, I have a few notes from the match. I didn't think that the match was I thought that Ivar, the whole point was to just keep elevating Ivar into out of the tag team situation that he was in, because his partner's been out for months now, and keep him competing against other mid card guys or potential main event guys. So that's what I took out of it. And I feel that Ivar puts on great matches with whoever he's in the ring against, whether it be a Chad Gable, whether it be a Kofi Kingston, a LA Knight, or anybody of that nature. So maybe I'm bugging, but I don't feel the way that you guys feel. Um, that that superplex from the top rope was awesome to me. That was like a Kurt Angle type run up to the top rope, and then give off the instead of giving the belly to belly, but gave off a superplex that was cool. Shout outs to, this is Black History Month, shout out to Ahmed Johnson. Ivar gave LA Knight a Pearl River plunge, if y'all even remember that or remember who Ahmed Johnson is. So shout outs to that. That power slam by LA Knight was fucking crazy because he's not a small dude, but you wouldn't expect him to be able to pick up a big ass dude like Ivar, who's bigger than Bronson, who's bigger than Ortiz, and he picked him up and he delivered that power slam with ease. So all in all, I like the match, regardless of what you guys said. And those were my notes from that match. Shane.
Well, congratulations to LA Knight, and shout out to Ivar, which continues to be my favorite. I know I love the guy that size and could do what he do. It's absolutely amazes me. It's actually that is more amazing to me than LA Knight, because LA Knight he's in good shape, so you kind of expect that from him. But the things that Ivar does, you're like, oh shit, are you serious? Wow, that's very impressive. So we'll see you at the Elimination Chamber, Mr. LA. We'll look to you on that. We're still backstage. Sami Zayn, he's all hyped up and he's ready for his match, for he is in the main event match against Shinsuke Nakamura. But before he gets there, he sees Drew. And Drew looks at him and he goes, I'm going to make this real simple. Keep my name out your mouth and keep your nose out my bloody business. Then Sami looks at him and he goes, you're in my way. Stay down. And then Drew steps back so Sami can walk away. We'll start with Jay and then with Dez. What were you guys' thoughts on that little transaction?
Well, what I thought was I was already like, someone's about to get their ass beat. That's the first thing I thought of. Like, you just don't, you just don't end the night without doing something wild. And that to me, I felt was something that was going to lead towards later with the way that happened. Just the way Drew's been acting. He's been popping up in people's matches and just being like, you know what, if I'm messing with you, I'm gonna pop up in your match type shit. So, you know, it was good by both guys doing what they did and saying what they said. So, you know, shout out again to Drew because Drew, people would like to hate on Drew because he was the COVID champion. But bro, I'm feeling him right now. He's on cruise control with his character right now, and I'm liking it, guys. I'm really
So I'm completely lost. It must have been something that I missed, but I don't understand the response. What Drew said to Sami about keeping his name out of his mouth and keeping his nose out of his business. Did I miss something tonight where Sami mentioned um Drew tonight? Maybe I overlooked it. Maybe I wasn't paying attention, but it kind of caught me off guard. Shane or Jay, can y'all enlighten me on that?
Hit it, Jay.
No, it's on you, the host. This is all you. You play the you could play the segment, or is this just a question pertaining to the show in general?
I'm
And
saying, like, me personally, I don't remember Sammy mentioning Drew, but like I said, it might have been something that I missed personally. Probably going to the bathroom or something like that, and not purposely. But while the show was on commercial, I might have missed them coming back in, and it might have been a situation because I remember Shane saying that Sammy was getting a lot of airtime tonight. But I don't remember Sammy mentioning Drew, but I could just be wrong.
I was in the bathroom for one of those breaks, so that's what I'm saying. I missed one, so that's why I said this one is on stream.
Well, so being what you guys say, and that is a good question. You're basically asking, did Sami say something or did something happen that inspired this scene? Is that what I'm
Right.
getting as?
Yeah.
Well, it seems to me that Drew was just standing there because it starts with Sami walking and the camera is following him walking forward, and then Drew comes into the shot and
Right.
he basically says that line.
And I was confused.
Right, like it just seems like a beginning of another beef with someone. Once again, it's Drew being evil Drew by somewhat picking on Sami.
But then again, I mean, then I remember, I don't know if it was right after this scene, I believe it was, that they showed what happened after Raw last week, where Shinsuke and Drew were basically attacking Cody, and then Sami Zayn came out to help him. So I don't know if that's what he was talking about.
Yes.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, so then, all right, I'm cluing it together myself. Thank you, Shane, for that, because I was so confused by it. But then All right, so cool. I mean, maybe they should have showed that clip before that segment between the two of them, because I was just like, what? Because I don't remember Sammy even mentioning Drew. So, all right, cool. So
Yeah,
this,
they did show that like earlier in the night. They did like quickly mention that,
right?
which
Okay,
which led to this match tonight with Sammy versus
Shin.
Shinsuke.
So
Because
before we get,
remember,
go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Shane. No, go ahead. You said because remember, go ahead.
No, because I was reminding as to how all of this jumped off. It was Cody versus Shinsuke with that bull rope thing, and then Drew came in to beat up on Cody, and then Shinsuke and Cody beat it up on no Shinsuke and Drew jumped on Cody, and then Sami Zayn came and helped them out. So
Right,
that's why Drew has this tip on the shoulder for Sammy and basically said, you know, stay out my business, keep my name out your mouth.
right, and that was something that happened off air because our recollections for those of us that was watching on TV, we only saw Drew attack Cody, and then that led to what Drew said on Friday, saying that he knocked sense into Cody to go ahead and finish his story. So, copy. So, with that being said, though, before we get to this last match, it was a question that I had originally asked in the chat, but then I deleted it because I thought that it would be better to just ask it on the show, which was, how do you guys feel? I'm gonna start with Shane first, and then end with Jay because Jay kind of gave his answer away. So I'm gonna start with you first, Shane, and then we'll end it out with Jay. But how do you guys feel about this one last match graphic that they're starting to do now? And does it ruin the last 30 minutes of the show because they've been doing this at the 10:30 mark on Raw or at the 10:30 mark? Excuse me, at the 9:30 mark on SmackDown. So does it ruin the fact that okay, nothing else will happen as far as like a random match, and you're probably just gonna get some promos leading into the main event. So how do you feel about that? And is it ruining the end of the show for you, Shane, and then Jay?
Well, you mean a graphic as in this is what's happening on the main event tonight type of graphic?
No, at the end, when they get to the last match, they have this bell, and it's presented by Capital One, and it rings. The bell rings, and it says, "All right, we are at our last match. We have one final match for the night." They announce it. They've done it on Raw tonight. They did it on SmackDown on Friday. They did it on Raw last week. So I'm asking y'all, how do you feel about them announcing that this is it? There's no other matches going on tonight, even though we still have 30 minutes left in the show. And then I'm saying, does that ruin the end of the show for you, knowing that there won't be any other random matches happening, and that it'll probably be just some promos to fill in, the rest of the show in that match?
No, not at all. You're basically telling us, the main event ahead of time. You want to, I guess, from a marketing point of view, you want to grab the people because you're letting them know what's going to happen towards the end of the show, what's going to be the main event. So stick around, stay tuned. So no, that's totally fine. Like I have nothing against that. It's all part of marketing. Try to grab the people, those people that it's like, channel surfing or someone that might say, is this the last match? What else do we have going on? And then they mention that, and it's like, oh, okay, then I'll stick around, or I'll do this and do that because this is a bathroom break before the main event. So no, it's totally fine with me. It's pretty cool actually, because again, it's obviously something new for it to be a question for you to ask. So I mean, hopefully you will have an answer after Jay, but I think it's cool. Jay?
I think it's good because it's letting us fans at home know, as far as like you say us older ones are parents and stuff, it's letting us know like it's time to put the kids down, start getting their bed ready and shit like that. The night's winding down, and stay tuned, but make sure you get what you got to get done. You feel me? So, you know, and I also think that this was something that maybe Credit One decided to buy into, and that's a little pocket change for WWE. Like I would think that that company bought that spot to make sure that they're the lead going into to it. Similar to like when we watch a UFC or a boxing fight, you get it more towards the end of the show where they let you know that Modelo is the featured beer of the night, or Budweiser is the king of beers, and they're the sponsors for this and this and this and that for the main event. So with them letting us know we're heading into a main event, we know who's the sponsor for that time of night.
All right, well, I just wanted to get y'all opinions on it. For me, I'm in between right now because of the fact that you're telling me that ain't nothing else happening on the show for the next 30 minutes besides this maybe 15-minute match that we have for the main event, and the other, 10 minutes or so or 15 minutes of the show is going to be commercials and possibly another promo in the back or something like that. So I'm in between about it, but you guys make great cases for it. Shane?
Okay, so quick fast. You're saying that this happens like a half hour before the end of the show? As
Yes.
in that's like after they announce it, you got your commercials, you have your interviews or whatever, and then there's the match, yes?
Typically, what I've seen from tonight, Friday, last week, this happens for Raw. It normally happens around 10:30, between 10:30 and 10:33, and for SmackDown, it happens around 9:30 and 9:33, which is the last half hour of the show. And they say, the graphic comes up and the bell rings. It's like, we have one last match, and that's it. And I'm like, okay, so we have 30 minutes left in the show, but we know it's not going to be a 30-minute match ahead of time. So you're telling me that we're going to go on a commercial a few times. We're going to have maybe one more promo backstage, and then we're going to have a 15-minute match, 10 to 15-minute match, because SmackDown's been ending at least 5 minutes early the last few weeks. So, but yeah, Shane.
Didn't you kind of answer your own question in?
I asked you guys how y'all felt about it. I didn't, so I didn't answer my own question. I'm just saying, I
Oh, you
told
just
y'all,
asking how you felt. Okay.
yeah,
Okay,
that was,
gotcha.
how did you feel about it? Me, like I said, I'm in the middle of it because I'm like, you're telling me that this is it. Don't expect no other random matches being made tonight. That's it. We're at the main event, but we're also going to give you some commercials, and we might throw in a promo to fill in those other 15 minutes before we do the main event. So, yeah.
And then, a lot of times there's also that surprise element towards the end of the main event also. So that adds a couple of minutes depending on the storyline, yes?
True, depending on what show it is, because like I said, with SmackDown, they've been ending the show 5 minutes earlier, so the main event's only been 10 minutes. And with Raw, they'll go off at 11 o'clock on the dot. So yeah.
Yeah, last week Raw, that was real weird how it ended with, how did it end? It ended with Randy and then Drew walking up to Randy, and it was like it was like
SmackDown.
9:55 and 56 or something like that. Yeah, last week on SmackDown, yes?
Yeah, SmackDown went off at least. That's what I was complaining y'all about in the chat. I don't know if I put it on the air, but I said that SmackDown, they left 5 minutes or so on the board, and I was like, they could have added that to another promo, to another match or something like that. I was like, I didn't understand why they went off so early, and then I'm not Drew, excuse me, then Jay was like, oh, they're giving the news time to prepare or some shit like that. I don't know.
Yeah, because with Fox you gotta be can't go over 10. You can't be like 10:01 or 10:05. It has to be maximum like 9:59. And not even that close because there's commercials before the news. But the news is priority for them. So
Exactly.
Jay, do you have like any hot takes? Do you have like a hot take or like a question that you would like to ask us before we move on to the main event for tonight?
Damn, this is crazy. You putting me on the spot. I didn't know what the hell to say. Jesus.
I mean, it's fine if you
Damn.
don't have like a, because sometimes we have like we have like a hot take or you have like a
Right.
thought that you want to put out there. But if you don't have anything, that's fine. We can move on.
Well, just I'll say this. Based off of what we've seen as far as with, let me see, these elimination chamber matches, have you guys have been satisfied more with what we've seen from the men's side or from the ladies side? What are your thoughts on just, who's been delivering more?
Des, would you
Anybody
like to go first? You want to go
anybody
first, Des?
anybody could go yeah, anybody could go first.
Well, like I've been saying it since I guess this whole thing started. I'm more intrigued with the men's chamber matches because of the fact that it's not obvious who's gonna win versus where with the women's it's like we already know who the hell's gonna win. We've been saying this since last Monday, that Shayna Baszler versus Becky Lynch. Like, really? We knew who the hell was gonna win that match. Same thing with Evil Gina and Liv Morgan. We already knew who was gonna win that match. But you have a match like Drew McIntyre versus AJ Styles. It's like, okay, either man can win that match. And same thing with Miz versus Logan Paul. You don't really know who they might put over into the Elimination Chamber. Same thing with I think the same thing with Bobby and Brunson was good because either man could have won the match. LA Knight versus Ivar, that's the only questionable one. I wouldn't have seen Ivar winning that match, but then again, he could have. It's his show. But I think that the men's Elimination Chamber qualifying matches are more intriguing than the women's because it's more of a pick'em versus the women's where it's like we already know what you're gonna do. They didn't even hide the fact that they want these certain women in that chamber match. And that's my opinion. Shane.
To add on to what Des was saying, because I agree with her 100%. I tell you what, to you women, the women in the women's elimination chamber, y'all better deliver, because so far in these past few PLEs, the women has been kicking ass like never before. So even though these qualification matches are very weak for the women's side and amazing for the men's side, just because of the pairing, to me, it's because of the pairing, because it's just like better. It was better matches for the qualified for men than it was for the women. And yeah, it just seemed like, well, we already know that I'm going to win, so I don't have to, do as much or, be as aggressive. You know what I mean? As opposed to the men, they brought it. They brought it. They delivered. They convinced us. It could have been either way. But with women, it was like, we already know you're going to win, you're going to win, you're going to win. But I tell you what, though, you're being lackluster now. But when it comes to the day Elimination Chamber, you better deliver.
Shane.
And so far, y'all been doing it. So let's see. Des?
Do you think that's because of the lack of talent on the SmackDown end of the women's division? Why why these matches are the way they are?
Mm-hmm. And this should be a message for the creatives in terms of we need more women in the SmackDown angle. We need more women. But with so much changes that's going on, maybe we will see that change. I hope we see that change. So with that being said, well, there was another little quick little backstage, which led to a match for next week. I'm not saying her name because I'm too tired. It's Chelsea Green. She was crying, of course, blah, 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 about, I don't even know. She was just crying. And usually when she's crying like that, it's because she wants something or she feels she deserves something. She was talking smack about Shayna Baszler and Evil Gina. And then when she turned around, lo and behold, they were standing right there. Oh, you're talking shit, huh? Says Shayna. Oh, you got some mouth, huh? What do you say you and me, we handle it? So I think next week there's going to be a match between Shayna and Chelsea Green. Jay, we'll start with you and Des to follow. Did you guys see this backstage? Yes or no? And if yes, what are your quick thoughts on it?
Oh God, yes, I seen it. And the reason why I didn't really like it too much because of the way it ended. You basically let us know after Evil Gina lost her match that she's going right back into the tag team ranks. Boo! Let her go singles, bro. Come on. That shit is crazy. I'm done.
I was actually a little bit confused because they were talking about I don't know, like a losers battle royal to be entered into the chamber match or something. That whole scene confused me a bit because I'm like, don't we have another qualifying match or something like that on Friday? And I was just confused by I didn't pay Chelsea no mind. Shayna and Evil Gina, their mindset is on the women's tag team championship. So where I got lost was the whole battle royal that they were having next week for to be entered into the chamber match. I was confused by it. I'm still confused by it. I gotta watch it back to maybe make sense of it, unless one of you guys can make sense of it for me. But I was completely confused by that. Completely.
Nope, you know more than I do. So you know
There was
more than
a
I
there
do.
was, there was a part of the show where they showed us what was coming on SmackDown this Friday as far as like, you know, they announced that there was going to be a losers bracket battle royal, but they showed, the matches that they're going to have Friday. They showed those four competitors, and they showed, basically the losers of those four matches are going to in those two matches are going to be a part of the women's battle royal. That's where that came from. And the backstage talk about it. It was already announced earlier on in the show. Probably at the time that you missed and the time that I caught by some weird chance.
Jay is still not computing in my head. Maybe I'm tired, but I'm still not understanding. Like, did the women's not have 6 matches planned out already? Like, I'm confused. Is there a
I'm
match?
thinking I'm thinking that each are gonna just do this probably the same thing. Because they're gonna probably have the 5 cubes of the competitors, 4 or 5 cubes, whatever they're doing, and then probably the 2 in ring that don't need to be in a cube. So somebody's left out. It's gonna
But I'm
probably be five. It's gonna probably be 5 winners and then 1 loser. That from the out of the losers bracket. That would the other excess stuff. But the part I understand that you don't get is like, why are you adding people that are not even in these matches into this battle royal, which I
You
don't
know why,
get.
Jay? You know why, Jay? You know why? You know why?
Dímelo.
Because of the fact that it leaked who the winners were. That was going to be into Elimination Chamber. So now they probably have to pivot from that and try to do something different to get
Mm-hmm.
somebody else into the match, because it doesn't make it doesn't make any sense to me. If you're having 6 matches between 12 guys, why are you not having 6 matches between 12 women? Why are we doing this whole battle royal situation? Like, that doesn't make any fucking sense, unless the fact that the shit got leaked and now they have to fix it some way somehow. Like, I don't know.
How the hell do you mistakenly show the lineup for an entire Elimination Chamber match?
Right? Like, what?
Like, I'm looking at the image right now, and it's foggy, so you can't see it, but you can totally see who's in this. I mean, should I say who I see? Like, do you
Yeah.
guys know?
Yes, because I sent it to y'all. It's obvious who it is. Go ahead, Shane, and tell us. Because then now, again, like I said, because of the fact that leaked, they got to fix it and make it change.
Okay. All right. So from left to right, it looks like it's Liv Morgan, Naomi. That kind of looks like Jay Cargill, Becky Lynch. I honestly don't know who this fifth girl is, and the sixth one is Tiffany Stratton.
Bianca.
That is an interesting. Who's Bianca? Oh, the fifth one.
Yeah, because she
No,
already
because
she
she
already
already won. Correct.
right,
Yeah.
and that's confused because I'm like, in the graphic that they showed tonight was the losers of the matches that they already faced versus I seen Naomi was in the graphic, Tiffany was in the graphic, and I don't know. This shit just it's just I don't know.
Oh no, we shall see come Friday. Friday, SmackDown Friday. We'll see what's going on. All right, so this is it, fellas. Main event: Shinsuke Nakamura versus Sami Zayn. Des, we'll start with you and Jay to follow. What were your thoughts on this match overall?
It was a good match. You know, Sammy was giving his all. Shinsuke was giving his all. Um, it was back and forth. You saw times where Shinsuke might win, then you saw times where Sammy might win, and then we got to the nitty gritty. We got to the, like Pat McAfee likes to say, the deep waters of the match, and Sammy had his big power back comeback, and the fans was behind him, and he was about to give the haluva kick, and then lo and behold, Mr. Drew McIntyre appears at the ringside, and he distracts Sami Zayn, and then Shinsuke clips. He what is it? He clips Sami Zayn's knee. Sami falls to the floor in pain, and then Shinsuke hits him with the Shinkasa or whatever it's called, and gets the 1, 2, 3. Like, that was sad because you felt it. The fans felt it. We all felt it. Like, finally, Sammy's about to win. Shinsuke doesn't win often at all. With the last few times we've seen him, he's been losing. So it's like, yes, finally, Sammy's about to win, and then that happens, and it's just like, damn, 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 damn. And then after the match, Drew gets into the ring, and then him and Shinsuke starts to stomp out Sami Zayn. And like I wrote in the chat, cue Cody Rhodes, and here he comes running down to the ring and saves the day for Sammy. Jay, what were your thoughts on the match and the after?
I would say my thoughts on the match was, the match was just as classic as they had at NXT because it was brought to attention when that match did start, that they talked about that part itself, the rivalry that they had, and it was good. So, for them to have this match tonight, I loved it. Both guys delivered. They were both aggressive. Both guys were very good with their counters, especially when, Sammy tried to go old school with his old school vintage shit and try to jump right through the ropes, and Shinsuke stunned him with a kick to the face before he could get through the ropes. And I thought, and the way you saw Sammy's eyes was just like, just rolling over for a minute. Because then that match was like, okay, fine. We got a lot better Shinsuke than what we expected. But the same thing that we was talking about before, in order for us to know where Sammy's going with this losing streak, he had to lose. And Shinsuke has also been a guy that's been losing, but he needs a sense of direction. So now with him winning, he gets some sort of direction of where he wants to go now and who he can start picking on even more because now he could beat him. So that's my point on it all. And even with the attack, when they attacked Sammy, I mean when they attacked Sammy at the end, Shinsuke's kicks looked like a baby kicking you. They were just tapping him. He didn't do nothing. Drew was doing all the work, stomping him out, basically. I was like, come on, Shin, if you could have really hit him. Stop doing these little pity pats. Be a man. Hurt him. And then when Cody came out and did what he had to do, good. I'm not the biggest Cody fan, but shit, you had to get what you had to get just for doing that bullshit, bro. Get your ass clipped for a minute.
Wow, Jay, tell us why you're really mad.
Right? He wants violence. He wants violence. He said, kick him harder. Kick him in the face.
Ooh, I'm bleeding over here with all of that aggression. Weesh.
It was true, bro. You kind of seen it from Shinsuke at that moment. He's just tapping him. Like, bro, you could get a 2-year-old to hit harder than that.
That seems to be the trend of the past few episodes of WWE with all these soft taps and 3-count pins. That's I don't know. Anyway, that is our show for tonight. We done hit the 3-hour and 30-minute mark, y'all. So we'd like to thank everybody so much for joining us tonight. Des, your mic is on mute. Was there any final words you want to say?
Yes, of course. Shane, how do you feel about hosting Monday Night Raw this week in this mixed match week? How was it for you, bro?
It was fine. It was okay. I was able to, be creative and do this brand new thing where I could play the clips. I had to improvise for not doing my birthdays and my news clips. You make it work. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the challenge. Thank you so much for giving it to me, man.
And I enjoyed you, my brother. Thank you so very much. I had no doubts that you did. Thank you.
Thank you. Jay, any final words?
All in all, what I got to say is I thank everybody for showing up that showed out today. And Shane, great fucking job, bro. You did your thing. Loved everything you did tonight. The audios, your visuals, your points on point with the characters talking their talk. Like, bro, you made us feel as if we were watching a replay of what we was watching. So bless you, my guy. That was hot.
Thank you so much, Jay. And thank you so much, Des. And speaking of Des, don't forget to join Des tomorrow night as he hosts our NXT's 3 Bells. And then on Friday, we got the cool man, Triple J. He's going to host SmackDown, a very interesting SmackDown, because don't forget, Roman and The Rock is going to be there. Interesting. It's your boy, Shane O'Mac. It's Triple J. And it's Destaker, a.k.a. Des, a.k.a. Mr. a.k.a. telling you, good fight, good night.
Yeet.
No.